Mama.
In Bacho, award ni dear, you dedicate ma wo any young clients near.
Now, what do you see? Can't count.
Bacho, there be si can't count cry, there be.
And one year, you won't there count on them one.
Bacho, and one in your yama, a count no, basically, no, almost be share a juma ye, almost be or the tea, almost share and fouls, almost share quaya. Ye handle way no na omo hwe na se bibiada na kwenwa na omo ari award and lexel na nti no ye nya anka na sika ka ho se sika ka ho de anka se sofuma no nim se ye ndi njao
Lawyer, did you mudi jame? Mudi jame. And your mammy may go anymore so I hope.
but all the fa cheme na ye ndi njao
I tell funny enough for your chair will be a sana higher yeno, or buy a near lawyers, Nidia, or bass, dear quan, a true fair darkness in penny mania J. May lawyers see a fear that dear, Uba, aha, Yama, Obian, Iritias, Obia Knutias, how by ye yasem, Oba say ya, yet, dear tia ye buy a dear grow, as I say, per se, lawyers no be lawyer do a wow bar. Honestly, lawyer Daniel, when himself first name go for slow bar. Yes, so once, almost a lawyer said you were bar, no, you sing. Lawyer is true. It's true. It's true. Me mama me be frail. Me mama me sikeni be frail. Now, on when me say no office so was sikano or ni company si pa wo kromi ha. Onye Ghana di no office say bia say ne wo tie no or ba or ye bossy. No office say bia ni kromo for lawyers for no. Say me mu na no mo de da ne form no sa na atie. Ma me ni say we di ni in the rightful position. Enti wo fra wa no osuro wo fra I just wo fra me answer. I say, please, can you call your lawyer for me? Now, say, or say, this your lawyer, the discipline. Now, I say, yes, that's yes. Lawyer, but also, why you friendly? But she said, yeah, where you want? Aha, lawyer, young coach, you don't phone yet, for na young fan calling, she just so. Aha, never a lawyer a free sooner sign a brass, make money me free screen so na me fixing me battery, me charge and a young call. Na young call a bra lawyer airbag me baby a charge me. Lawyer Daniel me pacho one what freezing till obey your way, you know, we say na was sign abaso, ama me and kebe me de. Good. All right. More
yeah
good.
oh
Aha. Lawyer now. Also now internet I
yes the internet called down
we internet call now. Okay.
Bacho
Say you're okay. Okay. Oh. Because why you okay? Okay. Me pacho mo fa lawyer mbra na one chia do for na etie for na yenko dwumadi no eso. Lawyer me pacho chia adofo ene etie for na yenko ene dwumadi ne so.
Yo medasi bebre anopa we michia obibia our joining ewo Facebook ewo TikTok ewo YouTube bibia wo hwe bia no anopa we no die chia bebre mpacho se wa joining your friend lawyer Daniel Koi ewo Fort Worth solicitors based ewo say Honzi train station at Ebenye Honzi train station Wood Green train station also Ebenye yes, also Eben Tempa Clean Station, any of these three stations, Eben, we offer a number of areas, family, immigration, civil litigation, wills and probate. Na ebano yaswe honswa we offer free consultation. Internet say ABIBA ni na say ope say ubisa na say ope say ofreya. Remember say enya dia yebeje usika na ye know aye consultation, you know I discussing bibia. The first 30 minutes there, offer free consultation. Anything, any area bia of law bia ope say only discuss it regarding baby amabobo immigration, family, litigation, wills and probate biano, yebetimi and no abo and home como. Yes, also ye employment law and no and home sem pan home come up and ne into no say what join in for the very first time. Just know say yang photo solicitors near no babedi and kita home and ne anope. But that's a very soft mommy. If I short to wink. It's
okay, good. Yeta eye lawyer say afei na woto afidie no atowa say a eye photo solicitors any no mo eba betwetwe komo no lawyer Daniel Cole one of the executive director the man photo adwumakuo no immigration sensem omoye rules and probate omoye litigation omoye immigration omoye asylum wo pese wo di aduro wa betene kromi ha che wo ba kromi ha say no bia wo wa ha no sabi wo ye gay wo ye lesbian anasa wo Ghana wo free Ghana political asylum and I wo dey wo kromi ha say wo pese wo seek asylum through political wo betumi anasa bia wo kromi ye say be do be di ade wa ko ni penny mu bi atamo Ghana sabi ye pese circumcise so as a oba as a bema na wo mpene so a ni nyina betumi agina so de edro modern day slavery obi na de wa be kromi ha enipa na wo de wo ba ye na ateti a wo de wo komu wo pese wo gina so na wo de siki asylum wo betumi agina so e de asiki asylum e wa ase e na omosan litigation manson Ghana kra no e na obi aju sika obi aju asase Ghana e na wo pese wo twe manson kra na photo adwuma e de ko Ghana nyina omo lawyers I wo kromi ha wo ye adwuma e wo Ghana enso so kan ho omo ye naturalization any registration wo ye panimu watene kromi ha age wo indefinite leave to remain now wo pese wo naturalize to become a British was so wo se wo ya lawyer because they say wo mo de mra bebre aba se wo be kromi ha na wo amfa kwan papa so e na wo di bra kromi ha wo ni entry e wo kromi ha omo ntimi e ma wo obtain a British passport entiment na de mentena fie na wo ankasa enje advice e wo social media na e fa nko ye wo British passport only lawyer Daniel adwetwe komo wo ba tena kromi ha 10 solid years wo pesa wo ba no o register not to become a British akra de registration penimu de naturalization me pacho woni lawyer Daniel entena se entwetwe enkomo omo ye divorce bia wo kunu oyire woni oyire na tie woni kunu na tie matena se ama bre ma comment ya say adwuma mo pesa mu ja ware simple me pacho le lawyer nkasa obey divorce amamo be me bro skill workers amaba student amaba woni wo kunu na ba ye woni oyire na ba ye for some reason mo pesa mu ja ya ware woni lawyer ekasa oni obedi ensa wo so no omo ye employment most no ye tell mo lawyers omo ye employment me pacho photo employment and ye big the employment law ho enkomo pa make us and make us say woni mo bi a wa be krom ha oba ha with skill worker visa skill worker na wo de ba ye no wo ye odo obi krata ye adwuma wo baabi me pacho friend ma me obi a wo ye student wo do obi krata na ye adwuma ana woni mo bi a wo do obi krata na nam ya chi no ye detain no ye release no ye so wo mra na on me sign obi a wo kwa akosan bia me pacho onya abotre hold on what ti dream mo kura akosan what do do na no me pacho memura gina ho na woni ye ntwetwe nkomo ye wi a wa bo awura ho ye wi a you make a decision for yourself whether you need to enter to go and sign anansa obekwa ko hu lawyer ansa no aba wura ho akosanya ni nyina ebegina ene enkomode so enti me pacho me the lawyer number ebeto to so ma mo show Facebook mo show YouTube ne the lawyer number dey so TikTok for me the lawyer number be ma mo me pacho obetimi e de mo me the lawyer number be ma wo manager eji wadi unfair dismissal e kwan yo fa so mo yi wadi no wani nye ho e unfair dismissal me pacho je lawyer number na woni lawyer entena se enkasa awesa e wo so mode ma wadwuma mu no enye sa awes no na omo ede ma me pacho woni lawyer Daniel entena se wo ye skill worker oba ye no ye ma wadwuma nye wo ho kwan akwanya wo ho mentena se ma wo manager no entena se ma wo director no entwuro home office nka kire ne se wo ba ye no wo ma adwuma se sa no mo ye wo no act fast quickly never will employ won call for no my employ no for mama lawyers mama wadwuma nye me pacho enne ye bedi hu komo lawyer owo any updates at the MIA when the update dia yem flow with the fire no na yem koso baby a wodi be fa bia no baby a wodi be fa bia no my ready ewo eho so wodi be fa employment first wodi be fa detention first and I wodi be fa wo mo a ye chi wo mo sesei no baby a wodi be fa bia no me you okay with that
me da si bebre so for mama said ya wo kan ye no ne kwan so ano no and discussions ne dey edosu bebre. One, we will be discussing employment issues. Recent changes are taking effect from April. Yeah, they are not able to draft because from 6th of April, no, in Sembe Brain, also for they be said they are working a lot of skilled workers are on system nimu are on in Yamabi ase. Into no use employment and so because we are getting a lot of employment issues, a lot of dismissal, a lot of grievances. Niniano yebebo hu enkomo. Yewia yebesan so aka deportation, any removal. And so hu enkomo because said yamuni no lawyer be ni honom a obepe say obe handle case I be removing nipa no efi UK near the nebe kofie inti no inyama e masa de ne eba no yebetimi abo ho nkomo na yetimi aye yenim yanase wo information now we know how to act because if you on my case ni be to wenim no oye ho hwea na enyeye na chese nipa no kwa na ese de ne ko inti no some of these things no so yetimi bo ho nkomo na yetimi chirechire mu a ebia na ebeboa ebia ansa na nipa ne beba ho kra na bibi ho no meso ya waye ansa na wabehye unsa inti no yebeka ho ensem recent update nso a eba from April no so no yebe prupru binya inti no say ebi obi nso wo question ho ma na wetimi e dey iden or there are two me move find chemical cry me throat no IBB wo honom ba hopefully na motini ka pepepe into the mess start with employment issues say they can for solicitors we deal with employment matters now from 6th of April no ye ni aye nim say to minimum wage ni mu until no say oh ha say na say oji minimum wage da but make sure say April we to yauka obe check especially more mobile with skilled work bebre na mo COS so especially care workers mon check mo hourly rate na mo make sure say from next month ye tua ma na say bosumi we ye tua mo sika no ebe meet at least minimum wage na ye tua no because ye increase okwohwe online na obehu amount as ye tua emfa ho say we COS no so no amount na e was no they still need to comply with the minimum wage rules you know say amount na we COS no so no extra £10 something because at the time no not £10 no mutia CC economy into make sure say you check and make sure say they are paying you the right amount as say the etua no another thing inso as say nkrofo ehu and that's amendments as nkrofo ehu agency workers any 0-hour contracts or my year amendment be to make sure say even if we are agency worker crown pona you have a right to some guaranteed hours and a reasonable notice of shifts and a compensation of the yes say be a last minute be near frost so to me be juma na won be juma e bi honoma yehwa agency for no you so mo e dey fail 0-hour contracts gaps abedemo no because of that in so we agency staff on so yeah they a bit of to me abeshemo sa ISO making sure say we are aware of ohwe na se bibi enko yi a wetimi no agency no abo ho nkomo so we union being so wetimi no mo abo enkomo because they be an say they meka e we efidie so no say wo krom ana we adwuma misrel make sure say we join the union because the union may be the cheapest option for most cases and answer most issues are ebeba obi honoma ogin say oh me lawyer number intino say be any ametimi afre lawyer now wetimi abo but you need to realize say eba employment issues when lawyers come in not just agin say ebi adwuma no mpe bi mo mpe so be adwuma bi because you have to understand say adwuma we ye there ukofre o lawyer ekoma o boss you are not going to work there anymore. You need to understand that into most of the issues that can be resolved you will realize say okay adwuma no nko the also ye adwuma man crofo ne dia it will be advisable say you go through the union in this who need union the advice we give you is just use the union so that if there's any issue you on at least resolve it no waiting it na ejuma anymore. Now your friend lawyer pet not just say why do you say ejuma no you are moving on into that's something that people need to be aware of. Almost say changes regarding collective consultation for redundancy. Into what they've done is a changes, since your main increase threshold test, to be a so person woman for a year redundant, you need to have people of 20 or more workers at an establishment. It's a redundancy be a cost one. There must be 20 people. Consult you and yes, answer they need to check the percentage of people which will be 20 people na a woman into they say who a say they are looking to do redundancy that's all they were acquiring air corner so now one tias make sure say you are abreast yourself with these new rules or my back can and who end semono and now a bi wo hono so fire and rehire changes a bi wo hono or make sure say who adwuma mu ni yi wedi ni esa foul and as yi wedi near or yekofo before frost on be yes adwuma na wo ye na automatically no unfair dismissal into this is another changer omodi aba so we ye adwuma e wo baby you see adwuma na wo ye no yen ye redundant but obehwe ne yen ye redundant so wo call ya na de bi fro abehwe so on be the same job and now so say ebi wo hono ma on person mo reduce contract on reduce wo salary ne wages are one into ne yi wedi ne say so person wo ye adwuma wo hono ma be new contract na ye adwuma wo so what they are saying is firing and rehiring automatically becomes unfair dismissal. This is something that you need to be aware of. Another thing is on my year a lot of enforcement powers at the fair work agency and also a agency via ABBA they need to be looking at and Yama and Crawford a year abia underpayment. We Juma Sikesi editor or not, they are not paying you. There's been an underpayment even up to 6 years, you can go and claim it into enforcement powers idea sa FWA so yeah, very, very, very important that people need to be aware of, especially more skilled workers, skilled work for so they need to be aware of this because Encrophobe are going through a lot of issues. Obi Ohonoma, CUSA demand no 37.5 hours, but Obekwe Jumano, Obebe 40, Obebe 45, Obebe 50, but Sikaya de Bemano no, Yabeka say, oh, CUS near the man near 37.5 hours in this 37.5 hours in Opena, these are things that people need to be aware of. Another change in Swahaba people need to know a flexible working hours. This allows employees to withhold certain reasons for refusal for flexible working hours request. So open we hear flexible hour working arrangements. Now your request that the way your employer can look at that request and have changed. And it also allows people to even have the right to request for flexible hours straight away. When you start your juma now, or waiting at first necessary juma for a number of weeks, and sana when you're entitlement to ask into and also no, they have given people a lot of powers there. Into no, yen say yen government in labor ninia and yet all that bad sir almost a lot of rights employees going forward. And now statutory sick pay, establishing the percentage rate for those earning up to a flat rate of SSP at 80% of normal weekly earnings, or flat which is over its lowest. Into so we juma na o% uje statutory sick pay ebia we yare untimi enye ejuma no o person o fresh sick na CMA or statutory sick pay. What they are saying is that the rate is going to be 80% of your normal weekly earnings. Into they have also tweaked and also changes kakra wo honum into so we jumana say you don't have any contractual rights to sick pay. Not the only thing accompanying at the mount statutory sick pay. Remember say and also they have increased the wages in the honum kakra into the so fresh sick na CMA statutory sick pay. You get 80% of your normal weekly earnings and also a year adia or more aye. They've done a few changes regarding trade unions and some near betting kwan betting fast so they strike, they will move voting idea and only there I don't think say I'll bore a lot of people with that. And yet umbrella companies amendments introduced a matter not previously included. Since who used to umbrella company at the pay, they have also done a bit of changes. And only the construction and omota a use and no at the pay currently is who used to and no being so make yourself familiarize yourself with the changes. Now, another one also which I think say a very big deal, a unfair dismissal, allowing for an initial period of employment probation to be included in the reference period for calculating detriment rewards. Into this Juma, for you to be able to get your unfair dismissal award calculated, you be used to probation period also at the accounts when we are doing the calculations. So say you feel say your cycle and the sacking unfair, and that's your calculation be at the amount. These are some of the things that we will look at, even from the time and now we hear Juma on probation, you be used to and no at the account or calculation for your money that you'll be giving to. And no and a year changes are about our employment from April we basso. Now moving quickly, and let's say our question be towards deportation. Any removal, the key differences, any inyama ese inkrofo so because we are getting a lot of removals lately. So for my debia meka say ejumaya ye we see the trends from time to time. Na time the previous government the number of times na ye removal we have seen said there have been a significant increase in the number of people as CCR ye remove into we are dealing with more detention cases than we used to do. First ebia Bosumi why detention case but now Bosumi we are dealing with a bill number 5 10 at a time, so we are getting a lot of removals. In fact, and there was a chartered flight and Nigeria and Ghana for now the problem and I said the challenge and one of the reasons why I decided to discuss detention cases in this and pain be brain, we are seeing people coming to us after they have been detained. And because they have been detained, in maybe we are not able to do to assist them. Where I quite to say we are doctor na obi about hona ne yare no baby edu no we hohwea eni na chese nipa na ebefi won sa na ya bebre and lawyer be a new honoma ya de nipa kofia ebe ne de. It's very, very important that we understand these issues. So you to need to young crow for the full no matter what they need to do. One, we need to understand say the legal basis for removal is there for anybody who doesn't have enkrata el kroma. So who kroma now you overstay. and as o krom has say ye ma visa o ba no ebia utwa ntro ntini ehu echi kwan ebia o fa deception kwan a enye kwan paso na wodi nya won krata and so many other things e wo honoma that may make you liable say betimi e remove you o krom has say you need to be aware of that. Na assemble ko aya me ka chen krofo ne say if wo honum na so wunnim say wunni krata de bia no wo honum na waboa wo ho because certain things can go wrong. One, especially in Crawford or more reporting. So who tie me, na so who tie mu baby na wunnim obi a or report here. Advice I'm the man is making sure say obey lawyer. The reason why it's very important and I say in Crawford be a report na their home office for ASCC and say so who report here na ye refuse to ebia why your application bi akoto why asylum atum ebia okoka bibi e wo ho no mo nim say asem na wakoka na entasu instead they say omo be ma refusal letter and say you refuse I am fa a decision na de be ma no am fa ma no omo fa ma they keep it there until we report that kro be kwa report na ni aso mu yes ye ma unko fie bio ye ma unko fie bio na ni the decision na ahye won sa decision ye de be hye won sa no ebi wo ho no omo make decision 3 months ago 4 months ago ebi wo kra pa ya decision 1 year ago. Meanwhile no they are keeping that decision with them they have not given it to you because only some catch up enya dey obekwa report bio into no omo mfa decision enhye won sa into the minua be ma minua ba so who tie me wa ha say na say wo report ya whether say what the application are to and a wo train and who decision and I said then make sure say ubema lawyer ehu dia why I didn't make us as same way because obi wo ho no ma application or dia kotumo no enye application eso auditum because ebia wakotie or CEO ebusuafo person mo chimi no mo ye me ohene me nso me person me ye ohene ina me ye na me dwane na ma betina ha senti mo ma me asylum e ba cho minua ba ma sa asylum na emfa those things will not pick up even if we call say a static program no bobby be so say biana say the person almost circumcised we or about person almost circumcised because of that you know you person a chill e wo north hono near your circumcision but because you say na so who could na Accra on ba be chill no ma circumcise one it is not nationwide and the whole country in your circumcised it asem na wo kano wo de ko to hono say no nti ko gi edra and I could dear dry, yeah, farm but also wouldn't name a what is so done for be ye be an idea in a year echo so now because on also catch her winning to once why ye now they are to and because we name so why ye a dema they are considering it but soon be our reporting. Farmer lawyer say lawyer a dear me call ye ubet me ashim mama na lawyer na catch us a minya bema a dear would ya to me emfa until the ya be refuse until so would ni at the papa be a obejina so dia koye application na minya ba so do ho be kan rafa ho kan ra ben ko na ben ko gina ho no mo se ukọ echina wo kwa ha say me mean to me can just fa ho kan ra but me met me catch us at the na would akoto ho na emfa until dia obeye ho no advise yourself then you know what you have to do because in Yemeni Bebrio and so for my some of these things you know a ban obi wo ho no or the application akoto application ne buy and you refuse you refuse you know assign another application ni no so you refuse ni nya no onim ono cramp on tiasie still or report say emma ebi also why judicial review na normally you be here to cancel your tickets the amount of tickets here the ukofia very judicial review need to cancel your ticket a big cramp na why judicial review that so why judicial review that needs here so mu report ni so mu obi so very judicial review bioma emfa because ultimately judicial review mienu over the same issues emfa into straight away you need to understand say so what advice on dia obeye because ukoni so mu asa de na kwan ya be fa so de be you no it will not work for you in particular be ye adwuma ma obi but wo de enye adwuma emma. Secondly, see ya ye decision say wo hona wo report na say omunim say wo lawyer na lawyer no oma ye decision kra na so omo fa decision ni emma wo lawyer no emma ni ngina so enye djuma ma na so wo kokran po ni ye chill ni ye decide decision ni ma proper bia na lawyer ni betimi aye den aye argument say decision ni ye de ma wo no you find Shawonsa until now. Even though on my decision, because as of mommy, one thing that you need to understand that they say, and son now will be a friendly judicial review over 3 months after we receive a decision. Until so we receive a decision, be last year, April. Now I'm fancying the Shawonsa. We need to understand that say I'm fancying the Shawonsa. And yes, say ye posti koma will fear for any ABA wonsa anchor document because what the application and as a document and a decision are more than 3 months. Ain't me and fan judicial review. These are some of the tricks and saying if you can see move for a year. For decision, no make keep it. Be among control, on be reported. Be a crop and say, cry, see, be more reported online. Rebecca chose bemba honomo physically, yeah, online. These are things you need to do. Obia or report biano, make sure say. And some of call next reporting. Say lawyer been a year application in my crack or lawyer for fraud. Now or non so and was now almost second opinion. Second opinion, a very, 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 very important. Internet will reporting quadia, making sure says at least minimum will be amanaiden amount second opinion. Because the way just a second opinion, because lawyer be on my adena why and because of sika ebia with their money in not also so obra ko bra ko. But so you need to get second opinion. We've had cases where, because one thing too that people need to understand is young lawyers and also we are regulated. Now, one of the things are there's a law firm and saying omunya issue. Meaning says what you DMs from Rashid and Rashid to law firm. I didn't need two because not almost the injunction applications which were frivolous. Ebi o ha wonim say asem na ewo ho no mo no enye papa but no we die chi now the court. O de court grandpa wo na wo ye lawyer no grandpa no yetimi age o license if you want say from practicing. So you need to understand say who case be grandpa or no I will report it and as a wo grandpa na say lawyer na can be actually. The best thing for you to do is we who different lawyer to check say asem na all can and no and na be before fro e wo honum I obey. And one thing that people need to know is say even if a biawo report in a one report you na o honum na bibi foforo ba e bia nyame ayi wadom akowo ba na wo be gina ho say obey application and fa ho say one report some time ago once wa wo ba okrum hankwa de obetimi akoye de obetimi akoje won krata. So that is something people need to be aware of. Intinu gina so na wo didi echi na wo call left right center because ehun sem na eba na eye ahonte. In a obia detention case different. There are no two detention cases which are the same. Make a check for the bia because a bia their whole case work can be and yes, a different case work be. Until whenever you have these challenges, make sure say you speak to somebody in good time so that we can assist you. Let's talk about entry and re-entry bans. Normally, no say ye chew krum ha say na ye deport we ye abia ukra indefinitely to remain ukra krata bi no wako commit a criminal offense near deport. That is when we use the word deportation. And when you deport, when they deport you, you have a time limit of 10 years. And sana waiting your application ama omeyi deportation if you also.
Lawyer, entry band na wo kano obi a ya band for 10 years na eno na wo kana say bi a wo koya application na wo di fake document egu so ni ya band for 10 years ana ya chowa ni edu
ya chowa ha ni ye wo kofie
ni ya band for 10 years eno na wo kan one set.
Yes.
Aya na profile so ntia explain ni ntia se yi wo e ma ye yo ene me pacho ye nkoso obi antie se ya chi wo kromi ha ni e do ko Ghana ye deport to removal lawyer so wo chire the difference between removal and deportation because ye nya ne ntia se ni nyina ye se ye deport obi o ye deport obi o lawyer say e two different types of language and ye mix no ba ku ye removal ba ku ye deportation na ya bando aka intimacy wo bi antie e bi obusuani wo Ghana o pese okofa ne ba ukunu wo yire but ye de ne ko fie ye deport no and I removal any didn't call any 10 years ban that to so lawyer age ewa ha so person of fan ban the done so bit me the number and I was say your application removing the band no and sana what me the number na me pa chokuntie lawyer yanko the abroad so no ya no explain ni a kire kakra why
mpacho yo me da say yo into the year cancer re-entry bans and at their duration are very important say and also you bet me hiding actually one say ye deport to e okrom hase ya omo ye deport you mono and also more deportation order no e ya omo ye nya criminal offense e okrom ha no mo ko prison omo wie ye ansa na ye yi omo fi krom ha into the eno de nkrakofo ka crazy in ye deport you omo e ko Ghana because onyamia enchadom ye ntanko prison e okrom ha say ye Ghana for but say ye deport wa ye be ma 10-year ban ansa na wobɛba kuro no mu whether sɛ obi bɛware wo ɛnyɛ obi na ɛba bɛware wo ɔba wo kurom ha o sɛ dɛn o ansa na wobɛtumi asan yɛ application na wasan ba kurom ha sei no you need to make another application to remove the ban from it mpatwa ɔtumi ase sɛ woanyɛ saa application ama yɛnyi ban no ɛmfi mu a wontumi ɛnyɛ dɛn ɛmba back however say ye remove you which most people about 98% or 95% of people ayede omu fi krom ha say ekofie no na a removal enye deportation say ye remove you ye were two type of bans ye were 12 months and ye were 10 years ye were 12 months for omo ankasa edi omusika ebetwa tickets na omaede omakasa omo fi kronim nti ne se ye de wo kɔ na so uni bibi wo de wache me but me ametwa me ticket na me amakofie me mpesa aban betwa ticket aba me na makofia eno no 12 months ban nti no okwa after 12 months no obetimi ayeden aba back however say aban edi ne sika etwa ticket emma ede wo kodia then you have 10 years and sana wetimi ayeden aba back 10 years ban and sana wetimi aba back. It is, however, very important for me to also explain, say, and no interest, say, where an application is made, do not apply. Until so we application, ebia ya remove you, abind the musika extra ticket at the work. Na we be an awukunu bi or ha say I na dream so okay, me ba be ware e wo fie na me de waba. The 10 years and the 12 months, does not apply to you. And you say, Obi decided, Obi a okra British passports, Obi a okra indefinite leave to remain, and also Obi a okra settled status, and as a pre-settled status. It decided, say, or no neba be waro if fie at the wo abba within the 12 months and now within the 10 years as a year Kenya, then sa ban do not apply to it. And nunti ena eya ye kase so obi ewo kromu ha sei na oni enkrata na we shi obi no opese oware no na ye ka che ne se aha sei de okoye application na emfa this okofie na wo ba no mo si oh lawyer ye se okofie a wo mba biom e se wo twen 12 months e se wo twen 10 years ye ka kire wo se enye ne kure se ye de ukofie a untimi anase wa ukofie so kwa kware wo yire and kwa kware wo kuna untimi emba back na because even if a bino crowd your musika etwa ticket emma no mo de ukofie crampo na sa 12 months and then 10-year ban na ye ka ho asem it does not affect you and I say it does not apply to you nti na eno eye ade a me pese enkrofo ehye no so however say we unnim say wetina krom ha say we breach immigration rules into no one who do seeker a ticket a coffee, which means 12 months ban applied to you and as a 10-year ban applied to you. That's what all back. The advice I'll tell you is making sure say when a lawyer aide abon komo what happened so that the lawyer can assist you and help you with any application I will person we now back. In fact, the 10 years and 12 months ban may apply to you when you are removed and go back home. Will normally apply to you whereby application for visits and I say when you're skilled worker be care worker be or so be worry or not the waba under the points-based applications, then it means the application enfa. Into the 10-year ban applies to those type of application, not necessarily human rights application. Internet, that is the vast difference between those two type of applications you need to be aware of. Now, say maybe assembly tool now person make a decision. You can make a decision on what's best to do for you to be able to come in or for you to go back. And I said the opposite we on now waiting me. To summarize, we have talked about deportation, we've talked about removal, the differences, and the effects that it can have on any individual that this will apply to them. Yasansu edi eho enkomo regarding employment law changes are taking effect from this April. Now, me babe started my program. No, I also talked about the fact that we are getting a lot of problems and as issues with the recent people at Omaba Cronimo, especially when it comes to employment. In Tinansana, yeah, it may be a phone line and for some questions, and I need to quickly add that. And no, issues to do with harassment, sexual harassment, issues to do with people's behavior. Kasa for a kasa ewo ejume monokrampo and no so abeye issue. Minya bema se ufi fie na amfansa na war back kronima. You need to make sure say you understand the country's rules and regulations, because we are getting a lot of issues. Obi ohonoma wako yedinako placement ne nipa ahwehwe no so maame abrewa so yakokra or see Jessica we jifa show ho no waje na de ho abansam ye nedi. Obi ohonoma okoye yesinum tea we no ono so afa no ano we twabroad no di no ahwe we di eno so ho abansam ye nedi. These are some of the issues that people are having. Obi ohonoma okọ kasa obekasa ewo ejume mu honomo no. Obi ohonoma ye ne stress, oh my darling no so akoka na wakoyi ano na chese yi ne di ewo ehono. Minya bema minya ba so waba kronima muntie nkrofo enum nsem because aha ye nyesa ni ma no wa. So for my MSS same way, MSS we program, you need to really talk about it on Saturdays because a lot of people are being dismissed because they don't know their left from their right. Unse first, na enkrofo eba obeba no na ebia or the obin kratana eye juma. Nti oye juma na okwa ohye no ho mem nkasa onye hwe. Na nse nso de omo bae no mo ba no mu krom krata dada nti obae a na okọ ejuma makope oba wo kope bema wo krom ha ye mpe oba ye mpe bema wo ejuma opese opa obi akohwehwe ko pa ba na ko wa sorry na kope obi wo em say so for mama de obetimi aka kire mu ye me de ntimi nka ne bebre na we are having a lot of issues. So wunti asia so wo ba kohwe Equality Act anase uwe ejuma mu hodomo nso a ejume bia ewo office manual bomodin nafa office manual nafa confie na kokenkan bisa wo manager say mepe a copy of the office manual na ebetimi aye book kese ebetimi aye be 100 pages 200 pages but obi bia wa ba ha say as a carer skilled worker wa ba ha nansen bia no advice am de be on say make sure say waje wo office manual na working came from front to back because no never ban akwankyere eniama eso we here because we are getting a lot of dismissal. Nkofo be why you omedi na ye yiwe dia ebia na enye wo pen ebe affect ebia na wo yere bia we dependent and so ebe affecting wo mba oni omoba e wo COS ebia na wakoton we japade na wasesa onyema na waba abrochire na efe oba ya be yiwe di ebe ka wo COS no ebe kan krofo bebre into the minya be ma minya ba. The only advice am de be ma on say obia waba hafufro bia no kohwe wo office manual na read ombeka chiro inyama ubetimi aye eni nyama untimi nye nkoje obi number na najo won frɛ no so wo frɛ no on fa na ade nsem abeba inyama ekoso, and we are having a lot of those issues. Intino medemano ebesi ahase and say be at this stage of question bia I'm happy to take those questions. May that be brain.
Okay. Yeda lawyer Daniel say answer me busa any question no me patch lawyer and number any ma mo share our TikTok mo ni lawyer Daniel and number 079 the private number me the mama na me the office number so come home. The number 079 you be dwumedi na wo betimi afre. I have a lot of questions I was me busa lawyer a lot. Was send me to lawyer, ma show Instagram no, and so with the lawyer number, lawyer. From next week, yeah, me pamocho ado for Ghana for your program no ebeko brofo send your be other countries ne so benefit and your Instagram or more be no say very interested but I can't understand but they enti no from next week ikono nyame ya adom a wo baso a meme wo ho lawyer for ne camp brofo kra na me nso me camp brofo na ma country kakra ba lawyer for ne dey mainly to be English na because of one for 80 wo what you say said the other people no will benefit on it me patch lawyer number no enie 078 hello
079
079 right that me patch munyina phone is me ba 07944 97 6161 079 lawyer Daniel 079 44 976161 lawyer and number no. Oh really that sir ma show TikTok no internet again yo aha no na dia to so ma me that's correct yo me pa mo chobe be phone lines atum munya abotre me wo few questions be aka me pese me busa lawyer etimo a frefre mo de munyina so e ma me answer Abigail really yo lawyer me pa cho me question and me pese me busa very important question e de mame. And they said, now we'll see Obi or why yes, one ram sign it. Why application Apple Home Office? Bring the phone. Why application Apple Home Office? Now, or yet the call, you know, A, I no refuse, no, or refuse, no, or nim yen cancer, they say, the Home Office for yen, they say, or refuse, or more far response, no, Emma, no, my brother will let us say, Brane best sign it. Now, refuse, no more refuse, so the application go Home Office, not a child. More lawyers no ya na momonya aware say enipa ne refuse no ana say enipa no application na che no mo be trazy ehun say you refuse nipa na any my first question. And the second question na me jama na me be for lines because questions no edo so ma mo hwe TikTok no mo person busa lawyer bibia mo betimi a request me and I request me for and I say numbers I did dwumadie no 078 050 2422799 yeah the three numbers ni na ye program no enti dia wo person wo busa bia betimi busa lawyer my next question so ye obi a oye adwuma employment for no wo bi o wa lawyer waba company de ne ba ye skill worker for no men ko company de ne ba ye man adwuma ba se wo be hu an say home office for atwro omo say ye o company ne say wo ma adwuma enti ye you wadi and no I think say your fair dismissal company ne man adwuma enti nipa no won ko adwuma wo wa na home office abasa won krata ne ye twem ya ma 60 days papa bibi ne fa ye because o company na report to say wo ma adwuma ana wo ba ye kra no wo ma ho eda eno no lawyer edie na nipa no onya sa letter na obeye dia fa ho obetimi a contend with that say obeye appeal say there be company ne kra me ba ye wo ma adwuma da me fra wo mo kra mo se adwuma ni ho enti minim the reason why a company no afa akire ebe kase wo mama adwuma no menye ana me ba ye kro mo hu me da wonya sa letter ni be free wo company ne go from home officer wo betimi aye bibi dia fa ho ana Mr. Mama mo person mo friend na mo request na ana mo betimi afre wo so na lawyer was our answer
me da se bebre so for mama say they will kan you know delayed applications no very important say obi application e koda efficacy na delay a enye ni nia na yetimi hu say ebia or make a decision and as omo make a decision. One, or especially omo ye asylum applications. So we asylum application na a year na decision process no a check a BTBD almost 1 year, sometimes in the ground or even more. Now, unfortunately, we will not be able to tell whether someone make a decision and as someone make a decision. What we can only do is say, from time to time, eventual home office for to find out say at nipana why in the application, ABAD more than 6 months, ABAD more than 12 months, add 18 at Chesa so that they will make a response. But say they are say lawyer a womb, na lawyer de ne din akoto so say me na me represent nipa si mesi na se omo make decision na omo amfa decision na ambre lawyer no and as omo amfa decision na ambre nipa na oye involved no na so okọ report na omo chi no na omo the decision na emma no whilst nipa no detention crampo na we can do something simply because the amfa decision na anhye nipa ne ensem entem that this decision we can use that one as an excuse and go to court and say omodi decision man no not 3 months in a but and layer no decision man until the court no should accept the application but say one lawyer and bim na almost see almost post letter ne come our address but one when then a different situation, a different story, and that can be very, very difficult. The second question regarding employment, any COS, Oma baye momo ejuma, no mo wa no menya lecture ne se. So advice ba na me debe man crofo. Se wo de COS e na ba kro ni mu na se wo ba na wo ko crofo no ho na mo se twen ye be fro ye be sia menua be ma menua ba make sure so be kwa ko lawyer straight away. One, the first thing is that you need to send the employer an email. Don't just call the employer over the phone and say "Dabena mebe ejuma." Send your email so that you have evidence of communication. So that asemu bi ba ubetimi gyina so say me ba ye no me frame na mo na mo ka me say be ma me be ejuma. So make sure say you have evidence of that. So as soon as you come, you send them an email say me the way COS ni way na ebae. Can you please tell me when I should come for my induction? Can you please tell me when I should come in? Now okacho say bemba and you have the evidence. If the person is telling you not to come, ask them, say, have they made a report on the COS, say, ABI, delay will start time, because that is also very, very important. If you are supposed to start to work at a particular time, now more than 10 days, date never will COS, so more than 10 days after the date on the COS, you have not started work. The employer need to go on the portal and make a report. They need to make a report on the portal, say, ABI Nipa Simesi was supposed to start to work 1st of May. But because of XYZ, you're postponing a start date, to 1st of June. And then so that the home office is aware of that. If they don't do that, then you can have a problem. It's a very, 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 very important. And some of these things, the employer, no employee, no now waiting here. And yet the company na say employer no na say a couple also a bed I have seen a lot of those letters this week in Kwa me I have seen about 2 or 3 of those letters. One of them crampo them say letter ne buy crampo edi be 3 months na che so we ho hwia enye yi nyema ese we no crampo ayewe because e buy no letter and email no na she didn't have access to it. So wunya sa letter na me who suggest this way lawyers actually letter abused and I said they're having issues. Yeah, mom crack and so there are petitions going around. And what I will tell people is that if you find yourself in that situation, see what we can do. Challenging refusal.
Lawyer, me that's my picky course. My picky course was the questions no ebe bu maba. Now my next question be person be busa obi I will just go work about no do obi krata ye adwuma ne ache no. Ye be challenge krata any man answer saying but me answer. Me picky course me patch me be phone lines at 2. Numbers in the good screen is so 004475024799. Sorry. All 3 numbers no mama mo bitwe mo TikTok so request ya me foul we no ma fa we. Hello, good morning me ba cho wa phones me mo di yenko. Good morning. Me pacho busa.
The pacho 10 years old so. Na me ba wo Ghana na all ba no le papa le buy. Ah le papa den COS no den le buy. But I think so that the Juma any in the lab into the city akara na mention check. But the address create an address to na which the address number. Okay, all plan we the nyama kan ho just a small hassle. But the don't na the papa di na
Ne papa di mu no ogina so de baaye. Enti wo pese wo hu sesese no akra no eye wo ba na enye wo na akofa de ba betimi ni akra na tena. Ako school wo ho. Lawyer me pacho brema skill worker ne ba wo Ghana na ne ba no ene wo papa ba ha sei. Papa no e de skill worker ne ba ye ba maame no enioma ka ho bi kire se akra ne maame wa ha. Sese akra no ma be do opetimi age akra ne free papa no wole na tena na. Ana say yes so papa no ne akra ne tena.
In particular, obetimi aje akwala no abetina ne nchen say ombeso mo ye consent agreement bi ana paperwork bi eto so a ye betimi abo mo ne aye sa de no so e de amo mo nji so person je akwala ne e ba ne nchen obetimi aje akwala
lawyer so person wo je akwala ne ba wo nchen obetumi aje na ba wo nchen ba person mo se sa consent letter bi na akwala ne ba wo udi mu a obetumi wo ne lawyer nkasa why me that's it. Maybe suppose you are me patch on TikTok for me fat telephone my family. Yes, darling. Good afternoon.
But me lawyer one question yes,
yes. Ebe wo won sam say wo visa no expire wo abra wo application to mana.
Yes. And I offer for 2 months after 1 na wo fa go office.
Okay, lawyer wo visa ewu won sam a wo be new application wo be start for and answer be ye den.
Yo, a very, very important question about Ebisano. Me pacho 2.5 years now, say Oma 2.5 years in Ewu on sem. Now the time of Ebewu no more than 14 days. What that means is say yes, you make a summon our TikTok, meaning say if you may have now say if you who we a TikTok for an Timinka, but Facebook for an Timinka. Okay, say a ban say who 2.5 years na say ewu ewo won semwa na say a bro more than 14 days your 10-year route to indefinite leave to remain will reset. You start all over again. Until let's assume say say we 2.5 4 times na 10 years and sana when you will indefinitely leave to remain. Na say why 2 times. Na second one no man ewu ewo won sema. You are going to start the 10 years again. Into one year, over 15 years, and sana when you win definitely leave to remain. Into a wonsun swan and no. Into make sure says 2.5 years, no. They be an ebe na woman ewu ewo nsem. That's it.
Okay, me patron next caller wine. What will be number na 00447502422799. Me pick numbers and me pick telephone na me pick TikTok phone so at the same time. I do me patron yanko. I do yanko.
Lawyer said almost send a phone so a care worker phone almost send it almost sell only a juma almost so my jumana. We knew why you to send your home office for the account or
there be lawyer say Saturday the night too late. Say ma home office for the letter ne bremwa. I too late but so evidence say na ne company ne communicate so mama wadwuma or mo aden no mo mfre wo blah 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 eno de wo betumi use sa evidence no ene home office for a content enti no so wo evidence na woni lawyer nkasa obeboa why me patron next mami you yanko mami you Abigail yes
So would you know about watch 2.5 now, but you take it how long?
So which now
lawyer.
At the moment, it take between 6 to 12 months.
6 to 12 months. Lawyer say 6 to 12 months. O 3 year be bantel.
About you say 12 months, and then I'll pay. Now we have a decision here from them.
A 12 months. I want no lawyer and casa. And I said, Obe Frewo. Say 12 months now. Lawyer, me patch on Mommy, you. Hello, Mommy, you. Mommy, you wada. Mommy friend Poma, Mommy friend Poma. Yes, darling, yeah, cause we.
Good morning,
And they will pray area.
Mommy, but you so good at we were indefinite. And I'm and I'm bear my baby and no, but I will back it to a when you're bear when you and I'm a dear kutu. Now I really used to me say, yes, I can record Hannah. Many bear my record Ghana, Koya, any man. It's because no, but how you know that 5 years. And I'm worried.
Wawari akura ni papa ni obano ni papa ni bema na wawari na nana.
No, nanya ni papa.
Enye ni papa, okay. Enti no, se no wawari yi na wukunu no a wawari no ono no ewo nkrata owo visa.
Na visa no.
Ni visa na no mo se ko Ghana.
Yeah, I'm say KSM men no wawari free Ghana ever. But maybe we indefinite. And I'm saying wa kura wo kuruma ma won wo kuruma.
Lawyer me pacho bremai oye yiyuni a wo ware wo kromi ha ono wo ba but enya papa ne ba ne akora no and also mo refuse so onko Ghana se sa na tie
Yes
but never go ware into homla
enko ware mo ware mo dem application ko to ne afi yiyu mu ana.
Yes
Lawyer was in the free you want to be pacho mo lawyer volume lawyer me mama nsa so say ya no wakasa because a good question pacho yan ko lawyer.
Yo, medasi bebre. The reason why omobe refusing is when to me improve enough evidence nikunu foforo no oye involved in akwala a life no. So when to me improve ukunu foforo no ewo involved akwala life mo dia then then on beka also onko fi no for application and kotu. However, so our evidence say nikunu no eboa no ehwe akwala no anampo say owo ebia parental responsibility. What we can do no soon say you betimi age parental responsibility ama ne kunu no ama ne dia appeal into if we can get those documents for her there you betimi aye appeal e okrum ha anye sad there or ye appeal grandpa enye possible into no ne kunu na waware no needs to support her or the colonical school or the colonical hospital or the colonical GP the papa mo an ye parental responsibility amano that will resolve all the problems omunya at the moment.
but na plan so when you was starting school 1 year
Lawyer brand no 1 year was starting school parental responsibility na be there he GP letter na say the McDonald's
GP letter
me pacho si GP letter.
Okay mommy Sunday yabakasa that's
nyame ehira me dase yo me pacho when the next NB NAB.
Good morning.
Yes, darling, sweetie, good morning.
When I patrol, Mrs. Sumabe, she will be one. Now, if I can't put a handbook, it's Nena every kind of or say, yeah, I think I can be talk or no people because maybe the tier 2 visa living nearby.
A skill worker not buy. Oh, you're dependent and I main applicant.
Actually, you main applicant. And or the kind or truck or home office more friend. Into a call and no more apple caster, but maybe divorce no. My year, but not and that me waiting so me found me send a copy in command if you can see full. Na wakwaba and so okay no can say ya plan say ye pese e worry. And no only say ya maybe dey go but I dey no wo me ho. It's not me person me bisa say kwan be so na anka meet me and they actually way this na reflect because I catch me say omo be invite me so mama ba unti o say me hu kwan me dey divorce no ebe to so.
Okay, so we divorce be kwa akoto wo nneema ba akone so. Wo ne lawyer nkasa, unhia so de be kwa akoto so. O ya application na. E wo hia so be free home office class say o ye wa application na for our rear na wo ne nipa na e ware say na wo de wo divorce no aka ho de ko.
Okay.
But seek legal advice because say or the ama council when na wo beko na council na schedule da wo de beba be ye mo marriage no ye ma mo 90 days so say na mo de aye enti asa na wo so be free we interview a one lawyer nkasa.
Okay.
One lawyer nkasa because interview no go start from previous marriage na wo de buy no. Enti package yourself very well. Yes, I'm so
another one. As me won kwa me so fi. No mo no me pesa nko mo fa me dey so e na ever. Enti my ye bibia makoye custody something.
Child custody.
Enti ka me pe lawyer so na ko agbo me na.
Me pacho je lawyer Daniel number. He is the best of it me dem kura number the amount. Je enkura no mo papa we. Ghana. Okay. Yo, me pacho lawyer number make it can chira wo netro. Wa wo phone so gina so 079
079
44
04
97
97
6161
6161
079 44 97 6161. Lawyer Daniel. Why? Me pacho wa wo phone so no yenko. O ne number ne Lady Diana de atoso. Yes, darling. Good afternoon, pacho. What to say? Nyami adom me ho ye pa pacho.
So we dey Mr. Lawyer man mepa boy. Onne camp we be the buy. Independence. But I say friend lady na ye nyamo.
Ne yere no.
So I want visa. The girlfriends who groom her.
Ne na wo kuro mi ha no krade enkrata. Okra yi yu nkrata. Me pacho woni lawyer Daniel kasa ye wi afre no. Aha ho. Fa ne number no na ye wi a oni na enkasa. Why? Eja poma me pacho ye nko. Eja poma. Yes, darling, Pacho lawyer to you.
Pacho, Miss lawyer. Pacho, Miss McQuestan, say, Ceciano, and Crata Bena, Obia, winning Crata Groma, obiting me, Prosidia Ben and Permitting my faso.
What by what you say?
8 years.
Oba how 8 years. Lawyer will be our work, winning Crata, 8 years, the Quan Ben or Befaso Benyan Crata.
Obi owa ha say we di 8 years are only enkrata no the best kwan obefa so e de nya enkrata na ye awo de say nyame wadom na say owo na wo ba no e kra British passport and na say nipa one na wo ye no e kra indefinitely leave to remain and also wo aminimu kra mpo. These are the ways, the easiest and quickest way awetimi edi enya enkrata. Say enye sadia na nyame ye wadom na wo hie obi awopese wo ware na then the advice and say this moko fie na moko ware na so wosa eba no na ya na nkrofo bebre esro but say bibi sada enya obi na wo hie obi am advice so say brana be hu ye na obebo nkomo ebe chekire we ni so na wetimi make sure say ansa na wo be ko no eniama yehia no na yensa aka ansa na wakofie. Apart from that this utina has a 20 years and sana wetimi enya wo private life na wo de china so edenya wo enkrata na that's bebre. It's a sound number.
Enti se wo hia wo bi na nipa no e wo ba Now we will know the akra ko school dware akra no hwe akra no wo akra ne life mu a wo bet do enye wo ba lawyer ka kire ye nua baba ko ofre ye no do enye wo ba eno no ba se wo akra ne life mu a one lawyer nkasa betimi use akra ne dia ye me pacho what you say all right okay gracious 200 Philip Yankwai Philip Ken me pacho yanko Ken yanko Ken wada Queen yanko Queen Slay Ken ada Queen Slay ada
Me pacho.
Nada wo nada na ye wo profile dia wani ji oh okay yo yankwai sweetie yanko
Me pacho man and you say what is skilled worker dependent on my say
Ken mute yourself for how many one also be farm and name na den pacho
now the dear dry I was say filing for divorce because every family and someone wait you do na so
wo betimi agina wo maso
also di edro
Ope se wo di edro na edro na person di no ope wo busa se e wo se wo file divorce and san na we di edro na lawyer me pacho bremai
ni nia gina ade a wo gina so de edro no me nua ba se wo pese wo di edro a make sure so the lawyer akasa at the moment they say wo fi Ghana na so wo pese wo di edro ha eniam obeti me gina so na kitwe bi se bia we gay we lesbian na so pese wo gina so de je nkrato de je edro a eno de ya na etimi fa because of the way Ghana attitude towards sa community na etimi fa na obi a waware na opese wo di edro menim say eno so na opese wo gina na di edro because already waware dada so it throws your credibility into question intina ansa na wo be di edro no pacho mesre pa say one lawyer bekasa no wahwe said the reason why I would gina so di edro no to assume and answer to assume because who could di edro a very difficult so sign with chi aba on a different course to make an application to succeed. I will come say, internal advice Ahmed Bema. Sounding in that.
Now every lawyer na lawyer nkasansa no we di edru no why
okay
me the lawyer number beto to na person wo frɛ na Ken me pacho yenko
me pacho me dependent wo obi paper so na wo twene
woni wo yiri na ba ye
me me yiri na ba ye ba won say enya ware you be agree no na o ka chere me say enya switch enti nipa odi ani mu mai process ni na yo wan kasa na wo fa enti me de to na nim say me pese switch ni me hu me fa me tuya wo ko na me tuya ma no because
pacho hold on why
and £6,000 no and I'm a catcher no fan say o ma me hu me fa me tuya no say na afi ni abai 1 year na ti and me no e beto ato ani e ho do bi abetia ye de be ye enkrata no switch no because me na applicant no so obai no ye adwuma e wo company no de bai no afi me ho no mo na wo twele na home office for afisa na message say oba ne say ye jai aware no ye ni ho no mo bi mu nti o mayi be free enkrata no so meanwhile company no de bai no won je enkrata no free ensemo oba ne mo na wayi me free so na me be say me hu
And you won't sign any divorce letter, any divorce via. But what they friend lawyer man in Casa. A offense, or won't me forgery divorce certificate without notice. Into betting me
But chop more time away.
or mama time I will visa the
I'm 16 June.
16 June, May, June. Okay, what 2 months? One lawyer Daniel Casafani number.
Okay.
Why? Nana Frepon, I don't know who watches and me program match. Me na me program match. Now, essa wana mi umuso ade wo gogoro na peke course ma me na Frepon. Nana mi wo ko yen kasa e mi dofo. Yen kasa. More than a call Ghana. Yeah. Why they you ni or ban the cray you passport and now bear man no a crack might be crack 5 years. Oh, bear man the crack 5 years. Or ban the year who main applicant or ban the cray EU passport. Bear man the cray EU and or ban the crack 5 years in 2% or banning one without bear money support no. Or ban the bit me up of our and Pranaba. Okay, good.
That's first question. Second one also. Now it's all automatic renewal here on the part. They say me my come
or ban very good question. Lawyer, say you ni our worry. New kunu ni adwuma wo kuro mi ha bi mo tu ha wo kɔ kuntunkuni fo mu kunu no yi. Ɔkɔ. Say no ɔkɔ na ɔnyɛ adwuma. Di okra 5 years ne nko na yɛ adwuma no. Automatic indefinite ni dru wa. Ni main applicant no any kuro mi ha nyɛ adwuma no. Di okra 5 years no ɔmo bɛma ni indefinite na. On say before no you need nyɛ adwuma nti kuro mi ha. We definitely do so I am from out. I'm glad I say. And I want for 6 months gaba. I say. And to waste the automatic renewal no. You need new chromi hano. Ni dependent no craft 5 years automatic indefinite no benya biana. 2 questions no bisa.
Two questions no bisa. The second question na obisa. I'm not too sure whether say the bebman no and I say farmer no because we also start to share that I check a crab and chairs be brace and I'm not too familiar with omwa omefi kronim whether ancestor or monsaka because omokromuni hani at the mom they won't tell you see their mom and I say farmer but what I know is say with the automatic renewal no now home office for we're meant to check will pay PAYE and I say will insurance contribution or tax contribution to make sure say we ejuma okrom have before they do the automatic renewal. As to whether they are doing the checks before they do the renewal and those who are not working they are being refused or not they may aware intimi in answer our question. And the first question obisa pachobitimi akai me no kakra na or say remind me.
The first question no say we worry you ni and on the cray EU passport. Na ni dependent no yama the 5 years no person okofa ne ma edo mu free Ghana ba wonu yi ni no empese obekwa of boa sister na ne de ne ma ba enti de okra 5 years EU dependent no onu betimi akofa nkra na ba without papa no ye EU ni na.
Yes and no. The answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense is say nipa na waware no or copy of our passport na or copy of our pre-settled status and as a settled status na ono nankasa ne juma na oye no ni income ni enough to look after the children obetimi akofa nkwala no without your support or without your help simply because so akofa nkwala na ba they want to make sure say akwala na wode na ba no accommodation any sika wo gye no wobetimi di ahwe nkwala no ntino. Let's assume say we dependent na anase maame no ne sika oji be 30,000 or 40,000 a year. Na wanje will pay slip and fan kanwa. Obetimi di nkwala na ba without your support. So long as a work copy of initial documents no dey any application no, enya dey obe struggle to do it. We'll voice number.
Application in I pay. But I pay no almost 8 months was an announcing and why. And now my worry is to be man what you feel last year. If you can present me as a patient and they go for home office.
More worry, how long will you?
But you're worry 5 years in it.
Now, 5 years ago, I was saying, I do indefinite.
But my back room idea, December, I mean, 5 years.
Yeah, my visa in December, I been 5 years. More worry, more papers on the 5 years, Abba. Friend lawyer Daniel. Friend no, and yes, I will indefinitely so I will bet friend lawyer Daniel no more. Now, so said Kawaii retention of rights that I am put no idea.
Because of the ban application.
Now, ban application, no, bear man in your ma. Into Waba. So mine. I had to
refuse you.
Why application they refuse you? And I appeal. And he says, saying that Beman if you 1 year no appeal, no sooner move fresh document. Ubenya. Oban, what did you say?
25 now. By application, no 24.
No, 24. That is last year, just 1 year. Only lawyer Daniel Nkasa. Why? Only Nkasa. Me pacho king lawyer number no ena elmodia to swama me no. Hello me pacho wa was near ko.
Me pacho within the Isaac.
Emo di kra.
Me pacho oba me no exe no oye nurse no skill work can be nearby. Na oba no na ina so ama obi fufuro ama bi na oye no ena be ma one nearby no oyi be free so. And now we a friends a divorce and you demand be man and not catch the home office said or the be man of Ajay. Men so you grew up almost 5 years in here, but in near man I will call to make appeal. But
mean appeal now walk or dear near man our year, we a day our rear.
You know, look upon it by but website once and say means it or one refuse here and idea appeal no. But I say about us men and let's say. And to the same, the person is as a meeting me, I was sending the so I'm an eye possible.
Now, Obano, only netting in Nipana or any buy no 5 years and son.
Oh, Mamma, 5 years, almost 2.5. I saw my ban when
ya. And for front or the year, no half about Conan to so because of woundy.
Until person may dress and commit me as well. Because we come by and sana or one incident in his
incident, even.
Someone to me for Mukunuma.
For Mukunuma, okay. Now, who know we you dependent, no, or visa now, who back room here, oh, yeah, what papa no coffee of Frigana, and no buy, and I said, now, Crumia.
Or the new of Frigana.
Into visa now, the Frigana buy still let us all.
I read
I had a be so what do you do by the Bema visa to enter? And who you own?
I would have about 5 years.
85 years now that I don't move from Gratama now, could indefinite no more say birth certificate no and your papa to move from now.
Yeah, buy no, I say,
some buy no, you have a visa to enter as a EU
6 months.
5 years no. 5 years now, what you know, who sell documents no, birth certificate no, Chimawa home.
Yes,
Wouldn't grata, maybe. Okay, until lawyer only crata now or no never without visa no. Ah, the area nurse me no. The area nurse ni ba nurse ni no bo no bi ne buy or ni be ma for ne buy. And now be ja be ma no we share bra we. Afen we share bra we ti afen no na start relationship no. We share no na bra yin so no. Any crata no da ne papa yi you so by am farm am into ni bi. Oba no betimi e de na to so aware no age ne visa ne bia ma no as a skill worker. Se brasa na tie.
Me da see
Brasa
be
sa na
brave. Me da
question
see.
tie. Lawyer, man answer
Okay,
then
Mami Brave.
say or the atoso.
Yes,
So
yes. Ubisa no question be which say when me enyi and no eye. But our question no very important to the answer na me de bema no. Oba ha say no or the 6 months entry permit na edi remu. So entry permit no enhu no the application for etu mu and they are appealing na still over section 3C leaver then obetimi akoda oba no so. Into no, let's assume say for the past 5 years na court back and forth but a young fee system nimu and our continuous section 3C leave simply because our appeal dear then obetimi akojina oba no so e their application. However, if oyiweni efimu amasisia no oye illegal, he's treated as an illegal person. Now only section 3C leave there, then ontimi enkoda oba no so. However, se nyamiye na dom na ebia oba ni benya ni indefinite. Na se ebia akwala ebe mu dia, then the dynamics will be different. Intino so oba ni ba ye 2.5 years pe na aba at the moment there, then say osa a train so another 2.5 years na otiminya ni indefinite na kwala be ma itimi ejina kwala no so e their application and yes sir na so nya ni indefinite grandpa na so oware no cry this osa kofie na or the application echo 2 na so ordinary eba back if akwala anymore into these are the circumstances ye nua be ma no betimi afa so na or the regularize mistake me that say.
Miss Lowa. TikTok yanko, mommy you yanko.
So for mommy me that say, when the my brother na me bisa question ya mama. Oba school. Na woman student visa no 1 year. Into oba school na why program no. So when you extended program and na ebro ni visa 1 year no so. 1 year no so you know na osenka osan ya another application say we are waiting the year school no. Into our application, no home office will sign say on cast and sign run because we 1 year program. No. And our officers school say we issue cast and once, we to issue.
I say school no where we until also come back to Ghana. No apply another.
The program now, yeah, extended. It was more than 1 year.
So apply for Ghana, no apply for 1 year until where we also apply for another one. So a real school
No.
It is a
Of my Brave.
More than 1 year.
Yeah, more than 1 year. Okay. Lawyer, me mo abem say here.
Into a pombi, and see, Ebeka versus 4 months and 6 months, I may extended one. I ended almost all things are money can't sleep you. It's now you wait to go lawyer and castle, and 1 year way, federal leave to remain, so they are waiting me completing the course. And all the two, and all the two, Mamma, and yesterday program, a chair, time of the song, for graduation. After graduation, you know, home office ever reply and further leave to remain or say, or I check who say, well, you school until one refuse to only refuse to because they were used. Now, this I say, apply for a student extension visa. But we get federal leave to work when you sell wait me federal leave students and extension visa and I say
federal leave to remain no more dia mano and no more refuse no. A 2 person who say one graduate no wait me 2 years graduate visa no be. Lawyer me patcho bremwen.
Be very difficult say or to be man straight away. But one of those cases I'm sure say a kokota he will be able to win the case. That ain't in America, sir. Simply because it looks like the university no na a year mistake from the onset. At the time na all year the application na omuma the cast no. There was a mistake there because your mouth cast the cast will tell the Home Office say ebia course awoba be no e best started from this month na ewie this month and no so no mo behwe no mo dia ma visa, but because the university issued a wrong cast na ono nso ehu wrong cast no one more man correct it, na problem we e buy in we have a lot of problems here, but unfortunately no ono or students then suffer because of the mistakes other people made ni issue no so no internet say e bia ne refuse ne buy and chair their advice me de be man ne say on getting in touch if we are within the 14 days omodi refuse and e buy they are on getting in touch, but the 14 days no there's not much we can do at this stage internet advisor e wo no that's it.
Photo of 4 year student pantino o ma abne e wo student nti woni ne nkasa why Beatrice me pacho yenko I had to na memra phone so Beatrice ada Prince eh wonai come dey far from
sana pacho pese mi bisa question kakra pacho mi question say na mi uni mi kunu wa na radia do be fa me bai but the ben and be wo primark awo and I mi ko to call worry primark aware but se si ai ya sa bet na the same address ba ko so asra ba be wo ba ko na and I know me ko to last week start over about your sorry.
Don't worry, my one in Casada man over in Nagro. Nature say, why ye and Cratam yam or 2.5 years and I know. Wouldn't ye be glad?
5 years
to walk renew. Ain't you walk renew what's our second one? So I just okay, you young queen.
And now we are with you. And I can pre-market banner or more requested pre-market ban never paliema.
On the pre-market film or firstborn or more requested the papa near ma me bois. Say papa near the woman or letter and now when you're there.
No more simple open book and you will get you.
Now say papa only now worry. One hour application. Oh, the man lawyer.
For us, they say you could buy up a son and our way to this year. Or more jelly,
now what did they come? What not any dean that was second born is so.
If I try the all hard this year.
Or papa didn't a done so. Ain't you a more 2 fathers no me in your man?
Or say, Penny, the man, you be
meba. Home office for ni be busa two and money me no papa ne ma na mo din kan busa first one when yanko no mo be busa the work say papa and your man na say omo de buy
me dey kwana na lawyer ni mo ka share me say e ko mo pepe ni mo papa ne ma
na say no de enka ho ana
aha enti me put that way no new way no it's why papa no omoje the bank statement and omoje no understand proof of omoje
oh yeah was first application oh yeah was first 2.5 years no what they will back penny no e papa ne oma kan ho papa ne de ne oma kan ho support o
first
okay that's yeah okay that's the problem into first one I walk on papa no e de passport ne letter e kan ho de ma o ba panyin ni papa me boa okay afa na mate dinti a wo mu busa no enti den enti wo anya anko e na me ba wo anya anko e na omo be busa wo de woni ne tie sese no mu de e na wo de no mu ne ko
and then what many what tenancy agreement is.
And they say, "Oh, no, they are not what they call me boy."
Me but how much? But they say me kunu sa so to us and the emotion because now we about to no.
Na some my mistake it say. E kurom ha ye nware mienu. 2 wa worry a eye den na wo san wo ba afofra kwotena with address. eso o lawyer no one place smart ya mam and I'm a lawyer onye Ghana ni mo lawyer ye broni omo okay in short onye ye krom ni entimanti mi anko express mo ho ankyere ni ye eno nti na ya na da bia metena se a me ka kire mo se ana wa fe na mami afe no ahwe mi on
me ba cho da bi me de na no cry me na on me friend see ya program see na
ana just won follow won share me program da ho
me follow pa na no mo na e given for catch me say me cry tem
anti na who follow me dey dey jina na me ni udwuma na just who follow me and a wonim se me the lawyers pa benefo ba and ade kwama broni ana say India ni ana Nigeria ni me boa
stop let this sao
net na dey na netie
me mani asamuka
ah mo me mama sabo na sabo kan say na sabo kan wo ana wo mare ga wo are Zimbabwe ni onye Ghana ni
Racho Ghana ni oduaba
enti Ghana ni oduaba no wo ada won pesa wo be sha business scheme na abe frɛ nya ni lawyer ah
members say no we are not
wo decision wo wa no ono na de wa ba listen ye man no is true there wo kan ye no kra mimi nim Ghana ni be be a lawyer on person na yiri be hwe me all control ye nya na yiri mpo ni girlfriend omuti all control South London girl say o hwe me a boy ni say hey na wo kan before be ba no na wo hwe me pa boy na introduce me na girl ni ba ye no girl ni is stick to akwantuo mu nsem na boy ni pese girl ni be hwe me program because why I don't know so program here akwantuo mu nsem wo boy na be boa ebe ma wo yire na hu dia brochire bre aye bre so bi de wo ba brochire don't deceive him or her so no wo be ma woni nkrata ado wo fa nkrata na ye adwuma e no no ge yisu do bi nkrata na ye adwuma ba ge yisi ma bena me kunu mempeno se me kunu hu se me hwewo a ada no be pamesi abonten sa na wo boy yi dia wo no edura na jo aka na da na wo di kuntunkuni akuri wo ho na wo hwa business campaign na wo tie na again he said there was a time notice a boy and me kasa wo phone so no be say boy ni say eye ma business campaign na ne kasa ya na boy ni say there bi enye ono a and again he say na jo mada na woni mu de ye obo pitirim na ni kunu na de ma two screen so wo mo da mu ya wo tie me no afa pen wo do point na je say wo boy no me na wo tie me e di live e wo kuromi ha ba wo yiri ni de what bande wo yire ni sem monti abronas campaign why because wo yire no benya nkrata ana wo yire de ni beda ho so no amanie ba eye me abronas campaign ana mo be run into mame mo lawyer no we ni amoa mo me nkasa lawyer na bon because bia wa ntimi a explain dey wo explain kire me kuntunkuni ni prisi ni kobene ne ho ahwan bia woni what you say bia wonim eno nti na da bia me ne mo tena se a enye me nko ame lawyers ye wo Ghana lawyers a wo monima de o mo ye good e wo kromi ha ba me lawyers de metimi e do mo ho adanse me lawyer da me mo me na me wo mo e wo kromi ha me wo footwall from glitch eba footwall eso etimi ni mo lawyers are no more ye adwuma nyina minimum bia de ne capability to do minimum bia betimi aye enti sa metena ha na sa me ka say Ghana for lawyers omo ye good ye wo Ghana for lawyers amame ebia bon ebi nya de ne wo lawyers nso omo ye papa me lawyers de me de nsesi me boka kire wo say footwall even law society abom award 4 times your lawyers say I will make 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Your mama word. But for two or no bad ben. Omuni madie. Why show you who can no nkata say because what worry dey tin na was so no oba san kwot na fiem e ko use tenancy agreement.
Mean the way so for mommy advice and say after the program no patch your friend.
Okay, lawyer as a friend.
Why?
Lawyer. Of flower. repairs we dey media kamane nkonye sika bia na edie enye me
Oba me yamboa no na into yeah on friend yeah
lawyer say what is of mama atade na hye eya na eya what you say Ghana ni hu say ni nua Ghana ni o me support da on bada ba lawyer India for your motiti to your mother do ma come on no poor dey say Ghana for. Oh, it's very bad. Okwa Ghana ni dia obeka bia ne so ba ya okwa kuntu bribri si kwabri. Mami enya hwe friend lawyer obeboa wate. Okay. Bra me kwacho wagina phone so ache yenko. Hello, wa phone so no ma akọ yenko. Mami koma akura ni kuku na ade asa. Ko se wagina so ache wate fa che me.
Yeah, students currently student visa. Citizenship application grant marks.
Not as all the British.
Yeah. But me, the seven confirm a girlfriend, free Ghana ever. Now, because of yesterday, said it's like I said,
now, who student in only a Juma? Tell you when you're Juma, only full time.
No, you're full time, but I call all the company, care company.
Aha. Ubeti me you should care company no me pese me ho say we student no o earn 29,000 na.
No, we are part time.
We are part time, but say o pese ko fa o girlfriend ne ba enye nkrata so o pe visited visa na.
Skilled worker.
O pe a fiancé visa, you mean fiancé visa? Eno na pese ko fa ne ba lawyer o pese fiancé visa we student eno no sika bi o was or financial threshold bi anasa no de wo hia hwe because we student o meet 29,000 no.
But okay say or only company bi to person use that company na yes sir.
Now o lawyer so wo ka se care company bi aye dey wo dia na wo oni ana.
I own half of.
Oh, we ye partner. A lawyer or your partnership with a company, care company, not just any way you good.
Yeah, but you bet me I amount.
That's good.
Okay.
Who bet me cry at worry the number to only lawyer and casa. Why? Me pa mo cho wa mo pusa lawyer number no mama me fan to obi o man sa na matoa so am pam twene hu hia. 079 lawyer Daniel 079 44 976161. 079 44 976161. Hello, me pacho wa wo phone so yenko ko se wagina so ache wate yenko. Me joso.
Now, say now 1 year, and
Obi anka se munya 1 year wontimi nya aware woti aware na se dey bro abuses e wo mu a wo betimi agina so age we indefinite leave to remain say ne ya
Okay, mama mbre mu sister Abuna.
Okay, yo any me pacho ne lawyer ebem lawyer brema e was say aware no ma ye keke 1 year ma yo betimi agya aware ana.
Yes, mu worry na say 1 year empire normally no wuntimi enjai no correct. Unless say there are certain circumstances be a war relationship no na no dey mu betimi ejina so na ya invalidate marriage, you be void the marriage. So you can void the marriage and there are certain maybe I say a C and say etimi aye sadie no me mpese bia because I aware asem ne fia asem nti I wouldn't want to ask a lot of questions if it is so nti ye nuaba after the program no obetimi I get in touch na ye know bisa wo in 1 or 2 things if ye share na those factors no in place there, then we can make an application to void the marriage, not just say and necessarily divorce, but you're avoiding the marriage. Medicine.
When I say we share be ma for lawyer or avoid marriage na wo share Bema for fra, obetumi di aware no.
Mpacho betimi aware no
Mpacho eh na lawyer na aware no. Ye bro ni etietia oso na wan ya ma ya o say boy munyai ye nyai. Sa na ma
untimi.
Hello,
Mpacho sana yes.
WhatsApp ni enko. Ko se wate.
According to my only background was which am I already some reference number that was a company or mine no company reference number now was see any bit agency now
reference number na mo pa na se mo per reference any reference number reference oh mama mo pay do neutral place
but your people neutral place
lawyer so mo per reference ne company ne so mo man na another company betimi am mo reference na and there was say company na do mo buy na
normally no say company na edo mo buy
na ne ma wo
mo reference at the frontier etisa na omo ye care no so we ye care they want to make sure say they are tracking any company previous company just in case it say why you be any say we ye and also we ye adwuma no safeguarding issue into there no more per se or former company never my reference
enti former company ka so mo ma wa any neutral company bi ama entimi ma obi
Impacho there be but you bet me your personal reference if you be ho.
Obetimi enya personal reference if you be ho. Oh, that's good. And the bra mo copy personal reference eh. Why? Lawyer ma option. And I only lawyer Daniel Kasa. Friend no. Why? Aha ye pan who be play. Yo, me pacho TikTok yen ko Prince Apia.
Pacho, good afternoon.
Me pacho mama kani nyina me fa course bia biom. Kwa me ba wo gina so me fa wo bia. Obi Ghana mama wa gina so ache. Bra TikTok gina so ate na Ghana ni no bebo ka wate. There be no. Hello me pacho yenko. Masere obi ne mafa wo tie. Pacho yenko. Hello. Yes, darling, sweetheart. Yes, darling. Mate, you ho na wo. Okay, now sister, no we here fa no ntimi nhwe yen wo ho wo here fa wa ma na me join the program bi. I say was send ka wo share man because bra wo be boka company na mo madwuma say de na lawyer ka no say o mo ne company ni din sa wo so o mo buy no mo free company no o mo send email and a company na fi wo mo a o mo no betimi the company na court and now betimi a throw home office lawyer betimi aboa wo mo enti fa lawyer number ma wo mo busa wo mo ansa say o mo buy no mo contact company ne by email o mo approve bi e just oh, that's good. Me pacho follow your number. Oh, that's fine. Enough. Into omo no betimi a take company no on. Why? I feel you dey let na bro mo dia. Omo ba omo dey say. Me pacho there be wo papa nkrata ni mu etwem a wo mu nyina de ye twem o 18 years a wonye British na emomu no 18 years no ohia beema obetimi aware beema no within 2 months ya no 18 years ne betimi ape adwuma ebetimi asoshe ono ne obetimi apa adwuma obetimi apeka adwuma ni bi and obetimi apa adwuma a yebema ne sponsor ni bi ba wontimi inform amene ne papa nka ho ono nko abetimi apa ne die obetimi ehia obi aware within that space no mo de ama no yeah. Right. Enti mo follow ya number na mo friend Prince yen komeda so what Prince no abotere nyame nhira.
So my son said in the 2 years so. I student visa so 2 years.
Not just a graduate visa no was to be.
But I wish you on no EU ni. And I need visa say possible say meet my warren na makoda na krata so na.
Graduate visa no no you dey that one na won go.
Me ne me remember ya divorce so no e difference US and I me that.
And I will we say so. Lawyer student obetimi dey graduate visa na ware wa ha.
Impact obetimi aware.
Me pass lawyer obetimi. Why?
Bashi o me that's
apia friend no na one friend na ko e bibia ambassador ko wona tija hwe no afa ma repair so. I have fit up for we mu ne yenye repair so ha. Yaba yenko. Yaba.
Good afternoon.
Yes, darling, sweetie, yenko.
My poncho, me kita 2.5 years. Me sanso edge benefit. I me wo me back 10 years for Ghana. Go to me akofa naba.
2.5 years I was benefit. Apane papa way.
Me ne papa ni ho.
O papa way.
Na pacho waware.
O papa o UK ha. Lawyer say wo waware.
O Ghana de ne papa ni ha say.
Asa na me pese ni bisa to papa way.
No na de ne papa o Ghana.
Aha, because wo ko fan kra na last week as lawyer PK be kire mu ha. Say wo ko fan kra na ba na papa na one parent o Ghana. Eya na wo so seek advice from lawyer. Okay, lawyer was so creative and na lawyer bisa say wo waware.
Mbocho me worry.
O marry ti o kwa na ati. Lawyer 2.5.
Na wo Ghana na me na me hwe no. Ma di na fili papa nsem.
Ba yes so say papa ni wo Ghana.
O Ghana
Onwuye otiase.
Say wo ha say na wo 2.5 years untimi nkofa wo ba na enkwa untimi nkofa wo ba na emba even if una wo pe na wo hwa akola no crampo na still no untimi nkofa wo ba na emba just say when you indefinite leave to remain and now so say wa worry obi our British passport and also cry indefinite leave to remain then wetimi akofa wo ba no aba but so won worry and so won na so 2.5 years there then any possible say obetimi nkwa wetimi akofa wo ba no aba
na me bojo na di pana me dey akwa no wona wo sim be fa ma die also person be
sure minim sa but because ukra 2.5 years I won't cry indefinite internet and yet possible with the application ko 2 more ombe refuse your application so you need to be aware of that and let's say there's anything so if you are worried will be there and also you be next na nipa no nkra ta there then you betin your application ama open why me that's it.
Hey sir. Say na friend Paul say Holy Spirit ya MPK course so say dey new assembly.
Holy Spirit na did you too much here.
Daddy, Kwame, Easter you am na fasting na my bread. Na also ye Easter convention ne one na be bomb paya ma mo na kremofo na so kura Easter.
Na me ba so wo share ma me pe na ma ba so so mu me.
Eh Kwame sir, ene na me Holy Spirit na kata mani nyina. Na se mo kura so kremofo so mo so ye Easter na mo so mo ye mo ayi. Na mo so mo ye
na me wo so wo share ma me na ma ba so na me hwe na me tie de ko so nyina.
Ah, ene kose.
Ama chibi a wo share ma me na me tie.
Ah, ene kose.
Ko kura say ne me happy Easter na me reply ye kama.
Lawyer PK. Ono so no Easter convention mi ti bi da.
Happy Easter.
Ah, eh.
Nso se ya me lawyer PK busia for me se.
Yenkwen. Kwame o yenkwen. Me say china nyame adom a me nye program. Enka china nka mebe di mu dwuma papa ka me kase Kwame ban wo ha. Seven direct wo he. Na na frempon mo nyina mo ntemi nka mo hwehwe me. na friend point your bar be ye bu so. Oh, I never could say what in Nana, and yes, she, give the person hours and they refuse. Maybe I tell Yanko, Nana Yanko.
2 questions. Your friend is who call maternity? Nasa company now one in the year, your friends were Chiaoka. How many months in a company that was so Chiaoka?
Maternity, maternity leave. How many months? Also, 1 year. You come maternity leave 1 year. 1 year.
9 months.
The company ni be chia wo car na lawyer. How many months? Pacho mama lawyer.
Ompacho obe chia wo car.
Like second question.
Sir, who will maternity no? Na ya find say who to me new company ni ye dwuma bi ma. Sikana ye chia wo car no. I'm very funny, and I said, where is I will call baby? Also, we'll chase the kind of back.
Hey, I'm Matthias here. So, I come maternity now, say, yeah, never say, 12 months. They say, I come maternity 12 months. So, 12 months and so. Now, say, I was start here Juma 1st of May. Now, we are come almost say, what resign. I was saying, kind of Modiama, what in a fear, no Modiama, who now resign. Or find this kind of company now, and I was all call baby free.
I was what's happened by force compulsory.
Lawyer Patrol Bremway.
Medasi Bebre, say question I will be very, very important. First and foremost, say a ban on maternity leave, you were up to 9 months paid maternity. Into your friend statutory maternity pay. Into for statutory maternity pay, a year up to 9 months. For the first 6 weeks, you will get up to 90% of your wages or more cap also for the first 6 weeks. Between 6 weeks and 9 months, and only a amount of statutory maternity pay. It might not necessarily be equivalent to what you normally get, unless it's say contractual maternity pay. Contractual maternity pay, say ebia wo company nankasa edisi kane bi eka ho edema. But say wo company nankasa emphasi kane bi enka ho emma. Na aban sika pe and as statutory maternity pay ne pe na wo gidia. You will only take money up to the 9 months. Say bia uwie 9 months na obi wo honoma obetimi age 12 months maternity. And no interest say betua for the whole 12 months there be. After 9 months, ekopim 12 months, and no obia intua aban emphasis kabia emma. However, so company now when you muye ejuma na decide say between 9 months and 12 months, omonkasa betua odia, then omonkasa na omoye then omutua. Sometimes obi wo honoma or maternity leave na obeji on one kasa ni holidays entitlement edi akaho. So maternity leave during the maternity period, so holidays we are entitled to a 21 days plus bank holidays. Yetimi at the beka after the maternity during the holiday period will company ne ebe ebetua. Say bia uji wo wankasa wo holiday entitlement esikani wie na uwie ya osimi nko ejuma bio no the company betimi catch us a holiday pay na obode ma wo san fasa holiday pay ebra back because ebia na waje abro so and the betimi aje fi. But statutory maternity pay na nkasa de so we now so nko ejuma bio ma you can keep that money into another day wow dear how you can keep to yourself. So this is the difference because yaka 12 months ninti and no interested 12 months in ya you 9 months pay in you after 9 months won't je but obetini etina maternity pay obetini etina maternity leave so by into ya akopem 12 months me that's it. Pacho kasa yente
lawyer said there be some holidays kind of waje dia and there was so refined no music among. But maternity dear, yet the amount could do or do my way good.
Your friend said, you won't qualify for. Your friend said, won't need indefinite. Won't get British passport. And you won't qualify for government statutory maternity law. But as a company now, we are how many
month maternity pay and also on the month.
Only indefinite, only British passport, meaning say when you're entitled for public fund as
Yes, you are not entitled for public fund.
But maternity pay is not public fund.
We are care worker. And I only company now here to my 2 months, 2 years, 1 year.
Yeah.
And I work 1 year and I work on maternity. Company no is entitled to pay you maternity leave for be. And sana government Diana, I was saying them I wanna say and no who go back to work.
Lawyer Brahma, but I think Sir Kwame, maternity pay is nothing to do with public fund.
Okay.
So maternity, the only company na ye juma no after probation na wonyam. Now only company na ye juma, you qualify for maternity pay, whether you are entitled for public fund or not. Maternity pay is not public fund.
Whether you are not entitled for public fund, rather.
Yes. We are skill worker waba. Why ye juma only company na ye juma after probation no. Me want to say obi a free Ghana e ba no wonyem or your skill worker onyem and no dey be ye adwuma or wo a onye entitled for maternity pay.
Okay.
Because company no only na nya adwuma even probation no untwam. But so what pass it out to probation there, we entitled for maternity pay whether you qualify for benefit or not.
Okay.
Lawyer me pacho ye wie ene ya je lawyer emre bebre ene ne wa ye fa broso tine no no ampa won kasa ye on tintesi o mo wa just ase ena lawyer ene me wo so show ringi on say
after program the national
I kwa be ba yen kasa wate na kwa me ge bi na wo no odu bra mi bre bi se me nka wa asem na nkrata no owen also onya ne ho to na nkrata asem ne ye okay no maintain nka biu. Catch any some of me what lawyer, in fact, we need dear, I was out of a woman pum. Nanka will blame me, Kosia, Yachie, sausage, and tomatoes, Kakla, Kwame Bawose, lawyer Daniel, a wedding ring in one ship.
Hey, Debbie Amishe. Me fast some bread. Debbie Amishe.
I friend, why Kwame? Mammy fast some bread. Moyere no.
Debbie Amishe.
Mother's dear. Nenko machechere. Me birthday. No maswa. Nenko moye almost some so. Me na me force so ya ma obi se na yere de yi. Amapopia. Afa di amapopia no. Wo de be kire. E wa yi ase. Me boa. Enti moyire no wo adwuma mu ho lawyer bi ba me program so lawyer ne ba na mbisa ne se lawyer waware ye se ne ye hwa ade wo se ai na mse na ring wo se me ye adwuma mu de lawyer na so o se adwuma mu ho de me ba ye no obi an hwa ring ntimi so ma woro me de na chese mo national anthem wo se wa ya de obi am ne se ma lawyer obi amon nsema no wa hye ne ring enti we ukotena ye ba wasema wo enti wa hye wo de next week no ye ba agenda 2025 bra no ka kire ne so onye bread because abra no osuesua se bread no mi ne ka kire no next week ka kire ne se wo ba enti na wo kasa nyina me hu se wo yese chese ana wo yire was so an shake mu call France no sister Pearl wo ye why ade wo kasa nyina kakra bi anu aye sei em say wo yire wa bo papo say hey ring no be sha she what lawyer yenko yeda lawyer Daniel asmeka cho the number no SNA me pacho monye ma mu dia mo me so me the best demo lawyer Daniel number is 07944 976161 07944976161 obi busa say company na ma wadwuma wo evidence ne saying lawyer can say emails mo me atwotwo ne nyamode emponye emails kra na ye WhatsApp kra na eye but telephone so keke ma bo wa ma madwuma and you don't have any proof but some WhatsApp kra na say message and na woni na ya me pa cho mo betumi de ama lawyer se company ne kaso ma wadwuma ni adwuma be srew oni lawyer nkasa and sign a company no a report at the one home office. Me that say, lawyer, what's some money ever came at all?
Oh, make us share a tier for near say the can no say the yes sister Abuna Akano Ubana say my way juma make sure so be send your email when your evidence be send WhatsApp when your evidence emu eyedu na yetimi ejina so edi ayebibia ma be ntina se entwentwen e ma yemfa notice embro. Another advice the man crofo so wo ba no obi ene gina mu na ye application ma wa make sure say obe contact lawyer na yetimi asesa email address a ewo home office ama say dia notice bi wo na bibi wo ho no ma omotimi e dia brew entem because in crofo bebre nya notice obi wo he be ka say ye try and crack them da ne saka and krata na or just a few days to look for something else to do dia eya na eye ahonti anase eya bebre ne se wo de enkrata ba krom ha say na enkrata na asay and a hard dream bebre into the Israel Ubana you are having challenges. I just get in touch. Say the account, we offer free consultation. And you have a visa question, you see, between £100 and Sunday will be no akasa. Feel free to call us so that we can discuss it. We've talked about employment issue. Ye near bear manner of fair last meeting said there are lots of questions regarding employment. And saying you better try say as much as possible. I remember program is to be you be use half of the time now you want to discuss employment issues. Say the acrophobic medium questions abeba banit ni ya no more because in crofo go through a lot of things, especially ye nuamo omoba e enche no omu nim inyama e cause omu nim some of the regulations ni nyama nti omu to a lot of issues in you better try say you be educating crofo more and na detention any deportation and so yes so report bia making sure so be fair lawyer na ahwe won simmo because anytime they are call report be aware say they can detain you and keep you there and try and remove you and your lawyer be up and you be at the say ye be cho near do be kofie na wentimi anye bibi amboa yenya na kebetimi aboa. So whenever you are reporting am srobe ntwen last minute ama bibi enye and say yes that program no so ka say on the skilled work aba as long you in crofone man so edi ye adwuma no so mesrew a criminal offense. So we just super be enyama at the year juma and Ghana for especially our omoda prison e will krum and fana ye in nyama omudiko ye juma aye chiomo enti no that prison. Into the say a mountain crat I say fabra hana fabe ye juma me srobenko for be nyama and fanye e juma if you can. You see a 20 hours but more than a 20 hours no and you are domani panema overtime 1 or 2 now they count one now they account now they juma but make sure say you stick to the rules on the visa na amount so that you don't get into any problems with the law. Yet that see the brace say motini joining and share all the various platforms also. Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 ubetini afre mesro ben frame Easter Good Friday and I say Easter Sunday na Monday and na Tuesday we make a chance of friend lawyer unya no o frame between anytime between 9 to 5:30 I will be nyame but so frame after that time a biana we nyame just say a detention case na ucha message and my yeah that's be brave obia o join here. Bye bye. Ukasa number. Hello.
Okay, lawyer me that see be brave question bi wa me patcho is very important here no mame. And a lawyer nyame ya adoma mame hu Wednesday no. Okay, Wednesday before 9. Wednesday no. Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Next week, evening. Say we are available and can no be here 1-on-1 for employment and for skilled workers no our modern conform crata here do 20 hours nebroso and a student as say no 20 hours a year cheche wo mu efie mu no and can no be here visa for employment no ntino Thursday, Friday, Saturday evening. Next week I going to move some day a beja need to me farmer and no crame here lawyer but meshe lawyer me dey no ebeba but evening of Thursday, next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening of Pacho Mami. Why? Me use ka free, yes, some kind. I say, oh, yes, oh, show pocket, says, can ye, Sika seven so, what I say. She says, yes, lawyer me Pacho or Sables will say, or your student, or say, please, can I ask lawyer, can time I spend on my student dependent visa and time I spend on my skilled worker dependent, can I combine it to obtain my indefinite leave to remain? And to know your student dependent and what social be skilled worker dependent. Obeti me I can years now would deal with student dependent no. I can a skilled worker no indefinite na.
But there be on combined.
Yeah, me answer, but now I just want you to confirm. And I will be to say, good morning, lawyer. Please kindly ask lawyer for me if I can travel with my ARC card within the UK.
Yes,
ARC card within the UK.
Within the UK. Oh yes. Yes,
okay, that's fine.
Yes.
May that
any asylum seekers.
May that will be biara when me tena safety anopa ebepemo sabre so radisha. Lawyer Daniel and number eni wo betimi afre no. Wo peso kofa kunu peso kofa ye, wo peso kofa mami. Divorce enye ne kura nka minim se sa wo ware na 1 year ma ya UK law wuntimi nyai. Ye butu atena ho ye mutu na wa hu nchi nko hwe baabi. Asem ne enti me pa cho wo betimi afre lawyer when it come with employment they are the best. Miss Rao and shut them any application. You know, be as mo be kan ye lawyer. Waka ya teboa no mame Miss Rao and I know say akwanya wo wa wo betimi solve this issue they amaye. She was sitting them and some wape wo lawyer. There be a mekase wo Ghana for lawyers ni bi wo wa omonye papa eno de there is no doubt about that. Ade bia ye wo original bia there is a duplicate. Enti lawyers ni bi wo wa omonya ade or knowledge no about the law or more than my mama voice name keke or knowledge no about the law and no unimoshe but your lawyers so really good. Lawyer Daniel and number 07944976161 07944976161 and now say would dear momia medibema lawyer nyami enshira meda wo bibiara say erade enshira wo bibiara meda wo bibiara woni metina sifiti no papepe mo sabre erade enshira mo me kan for a best deal door to door shippers mesra best deal for abefa me nuoma bia wo ma ye wonders just nuoma no 4 weeks ne kura anso 4 weeks na anso ye bedi Easter ya na me ye I think so be far no 20 something of March epu ya almost yedu I was shocked me patch of best deal door to door shippers no mo be fa wo nioma enko enioma me mo be fa call ye no na I thought to say ebedu na bia bobo send me mo be fa nioma no call ye no sa do me insurance to so and so sa ne call ye enti for best deal door to door shippers no mo be fa wo nioma enfa nko eye Ghana enfa emma obi biara enfa ne nchire eye Kumasi market ne kodi wudwa ewo Kumasi market ewo organic nioma abedu kodi wudwa nyina wo Kumasi market ewo pekam me kan for pelito the amount shito de do shito binham fra wo mo na no mu ni sa wo so ewo wo shito emu eye snacks and eto ne sa from me patcho snacky snacks fra wo mo na no mo eni eye ensa wo so Bravo catering services mami Bravo Easter mo se me Easter de na me Holy Ghost afamiti Bravo Easter wa anya aduane amre me boa me ye fasting me breaki for Bravo catering services na woni no eni eye ensa wo so erade enshra eye wo pe wo fie wo pese wo fix in new boiler eye new cooker nyame ya adom a next week no me de ho ne me nyina ebebrem ni details eye handyman o ye Ghana ni Awurade ehira no e wa ha we de okofo obi aboden o install eye boiler wo heating ye wo pese wo change washing machine a lot me de ni nyina ebebrem nyame ya adom a eye next week e kina nyame ya adom a akwantuo mu nsem e maso e kina menye akwantuo mu nsem because one of our member ba lady amene ne kwa sorry Flames of Faith Assembly or Ware enti e kire nyame ya adomo a ni gya dwumade bi a medi bia at 1 o'clock na mako akota na chi akosopporto ama dwumade no aye kama eno nti na de bia na meka kire wo se obi man so ene wo oba obi man so afa huja pe asori eko pekuo eko asori pa asori awurade abasa awurade tumi ewo so enwosra eye adwuma na eko Bible believing church pebineko mantemu a wo no asori wo ho asori ebu pebineko na emo pa asori papa asori a Bible believing church awurade abasa ewo so asori a eye busua okwa you feel at home o feel listen me fie enie o feel listen me busuafo enie ables kin take urabe ya wo ya die on try the bi me hu me baby biara invitation what the bar I just read invitation I won't drive 2 hours send me dey ko engagement e wa abla ni penimini no afa telephone send ma abuna be jam dey bi but oye mi busuani me ne na kwa sorry enti no matter how adie bia akwenti omunsem do you know money that I will lose on akwenti omunsem and for sponsors also me lose but I don't care because of oye mi busuani me ne na kwa sorry enti oye part and parcel with me oye bi moja enti echina no adie bia me ye bia no I have to close it down na meko di nechi emedru medie no eye fefefe ase obi a me ne kokuo no matter how de me ye bia no e wo se mi jai skin pain fine club obi eye bibia nipa no be reshi se ma abona ebeba aba beta nechi ye de animonyam shekese ebeba we are coming with our convoy ye ni skin pain fine club ahemfo kukudem lawyers kukudem ye patrons kukudem ye bani abehwe w'animonyam eno nti da bia me ka kire wo se pa sorry ko mesrawo me to me nsa e de afro se wo hwe me wo tie me na wo ni baabi son amopa me ba na me ka mana mo hwe no TikTok ni nyanko Facebook na me ka sa anadwe nyina starting from 1 o'clock call back obi a wanya kidney problem na me kidney no start ye ne somewhere December and omo diagnose no na okọ omo money treatment but omunyan ensesan emane implant but okowo injection and omo de car brain no 9,000 getting to 10,000 pounds no omo de car brain no ye nyama kidney implant medication no omo de man for treatment no a omo de man no omo de car ne buy because of only grata no wajai onko GP on clinic or the appointment brena wonko e ma sese no wa hu no ahomachi ye video call me come me se boy me hu se obi hwene ene nani nyina atu abomu ba ho ojonso a wo beka se tea ya me no mu wo beka se tea black oba brochire so ncheye oba ye ni 7 months muni enipa wo besoe no enso ni nkrata e na bra yi hu de wonye no mo frem ahoma chimbre boy bra yi e na make us say mo kwa sorry a Catholics asori for ne kura no bi be hu mo Mukoku, my day was me organ and I Pentecost na me buy a man and a dreamer be a benya yenti, a dreamer will be yenti. Why you know a sorry now? Who walk Ghana so no? May assure so Bible children walk on Dutch mountains. Eh, be a not Pentecost or so then more than 24/7 because of person Bible children will bomb pay say with the mere wine. A ready be a wine, I won't buy ye. A sorry I walk on the pew crummy hat. Oh, or see a dreamer. Enti because of amania wo kobu no enka asorefo ne beboa ne pa enso ontime nkoho bi wie program a me beye 1 or 2 course bi e dia ko asori e wo kromi ha Pentecost asori na ma hwe I don't think he said they will help and if they don't help omudi bem because when you're part of them oba abrochire sikape or yes 7 days kwasi ada wa kwaje ayi kwasi ada ya friend adwuma kora na wa friend adwuma hello January o ma adwuma anye hello director woman na dwuma nye kwasi ada a wo de be kwa asori no akoshe nyame animunyam no onim so wo kwa asori ama osofo onim so wo kwa asori ama wobi onim so wo kwa asori de ama no wo kosre ba body ato abamos ye kwa asori ko worship God ye kwa asori ko seek the face of God ye kwa asori because of obi Abenes kimpe me be kromi ha me nya me de afu me ba me betu me nua no wa ha me nua no nyina ba abrochire me the last person me ba abrochire me any last person me ba abrochire me sister panimu na de me ba ye awrade nhira no awrade ma ne nkwatenten man brago awrade nya okese wate akoma pa wunya ye wo de be fa wu nua no nyina ba abrochire enso so no sanse me nua wo kromi aso ba abrochire man fa ne easy GP kura na mini bi. Why? Ekonomi a wontini ko yusu obi address yo. Mia mi nua na na meti yo. Mini mi nua ene tie. Pa was he? Ma mi nua na me from me sesi a.
I saw stand me surrounding account.
Oh Mike no. Oh, okay. Yo, Matiani, me kwa me why? Me that's it. Enti. Leba kwasi asa no kra ka wa betimi ai no. Okay. Enti no me ba abrochire no. Me nya nioma fofofo do me nua wa ha. Je se me ba abrochire adan na me ba na me start adwuma because of my sister. Ewa ha my sister or companies links e pa me ba na start adwuma ba me start adwuma no me nya nioma easy me kai se me ba ye na me koye adwuma ewo King's Cross na me ye adwuma toilet me clean toilet na detergent could see me use wash gloves wo ho ba me de mensa me se me she gloves no kakraka na me di si ade na enko ensintem ti me yi gloves na me de mensa posa detergent afi de mensa na honhun no abobom pumpunja mensa wo mini GP mensa ya kakraka me fingers aya potwe anche na chicken pox be free he bed tigu me so mini GP no GP my bro apre enunti na me de me hu say was say me I would work with people with passion ti na adwuma we no me passion no enti mesrew minimum die enti ya na mesrew say pa sorry ko na wo hia moa wanya moa pekuo ko na wo ho kire wo a wanya obi a obedwane akotoa no ye kwa sorry seek the face of God na ya san koje ban body ato ya bara so na ya san ko form family abusuya obi man so ne etie abusuya ye kwa sorry sane be ya is a privilege say obetimi kra mingle because obi o hokra na very hardly say kanipa no need be nya contact but because of authority woni ni pehia ekuku demuhia it's a privilege pa de mawo entimisra woni asore kwa me kanfo flames of faith assemblies de amawo abenes campaign wana me some wana me kwa sorry baby a me kwa sorry na me di ho adanse de a kire wo sebra betro wudi wo flames of faith assembly wo pastor ya awurade abasa awurade tumi ne mosra ne honhomo ye adwuma dia ewiye bremu wo Great Britain United Kingdom specifically London dia bomodin ne bra ye Easter convention obi free Holland ene the busuafo bebuku hotel omoda so da hotel omonkoi ma mo ba sorry last week Sunday muhu omo Tuesday ma mo ba this Tuesday redemption hour muhu womo ma minister we di prophet Greg Etiache na woni mu di awurade en na mo prophet so ye and this Easter convention no and almost no untie the tie yentena ho enti e be free Holland omo bookie hotel Abigail or the Abigail ana abi se wo hwe me a awurade nhira and I would deal my mistake, you know. I think it's Abigail. Only one and we are day from fra dumu quadumu. One man way ya wabba yuki has say no. What dear dance die and the beco? A dance die and a beco. What in London, oh ma sorry. The patrol, a master mom to one son or from Tiabanes in pay. Ma brami popi a guarantee, ma brami niano, ma brami kudu, ma brami and casao me patrol. Me catch sorry waka. Bra sorry. When you're about Wooty, me make us say a man may dear. For who bra sorry, so who couldn't quite juma when you're about me, what me baby was so. Me baby, I mean money deal feel quite in never. I love her because of Nikunu kure ni what Nikunu kwe juma or no any jinamu and what yam Nikunu. And not your friend or papa. Ye can virtuous women. And your virtuous women is what it take and trauma to say they did a card at a time and you what you train trauma and the attitude with him or virtuous woman made me or body, me no funie, me tunie, my essay, my yemi makers, no one word be a net postal, not a good, a sukuno, and woo a good, a dianiso young ketua, one only madrian, a wako ketra, and yet wouldn't a friend with some way a virtuous woman, the be. Ye come virtuous women or be or seeking the face of God. Emma nikunu, emma nema, ojinemu, edema nebusuya, nyamisro ewonimu, eno ye kaso ye virtuous woman. Enye obia o depi. Ti saa akora no, ofri kwai de neba, ensu uto ewie bosno, obeba, nikunu ni ho, ada nikunu wo omu nyina ba asori, obejinemu de ma nikunu ni wo maame, ene nebusuya, saa na wo se wo ye. Men kase mi kunu die pasareka mi kunu die na won so hyedem ukunu se da o se mada debi ka kire ukunu se bra me ko bompa ye diama minimum bra bia na o pawo last 2 years bra me pawo na wagina kora ne so e dia ye na ade na ne yire no empa sorry be ma o redemption now. Bra ne kwa sorry, kwa na sorry, but ose na sorry wono. Woni mu se urade benam prophet Greg adomoso. Enti kwa na sorry kosi ada bia, but redemption our Tuesday na o make say. Opo adwuma no de ne bag send kon ho. Na bre ya ba sorry. One day, and na prophet Greg catch and say kon lie down on the altar. Kon that altar you so. Sa we ye bema. Na wo wajinamu edi ama wo yere na yere ne nyeso okọ adwuma wo mi hu bi da oba ne so ne de asore de wo mpe omo ankasa asore kro mo kone kra oba ne nko. That means he said there is something fishy oba no empe so obeda na didi a kire be ma no because oba de nke ne yakọ ne atwe kru no de echi. But prophet Greg nye prophet bi a woteti ni pantem oso wo de ye mompa ye ne hwede ewrade be ye ye mompa ye ne hwede ewrade be ye. Dako prophet provoke ye eno ka kire bra ne seta altar ne so koda altar ne so lie down e kopim se ye be ya so re wi wo de efemu da na bra ne koda altar ne so ye pom so na prophet Greg se obi a hwe a month ya ye wo mi busumi we ya ye wo mi counting from this month up to 9 months obeba ha be share testimony the same month na no e na ne yere enyemoye. The same month na Sunday na se Tuesday the prophetic kana sorry. The same month na na de yere e conceive ye. Ewurade adom wo ma wo afom ba. Owo ye woni ne yere ene ne na kora ne nyina ba sorry. E be de ewurade ase. Omo ko ma sorry. Enti wo ye be ma na wutie me wo yiri enya ho a wo bra. Wo ye wo ba na wutie me bra betwiro wudi wo flames of it assembly. Yes, sorry, I say every Sunday be a 1 p.m. and we are 1 p.m. 4:30 near pom. And we are 1. And to win the pakro wo call 90 oba beda to nwema go brane beda. And bo 10 pepe no adware no sorry na dimrika no afa bus no afa train. Ye base wo Elephant and Castle. Elephant and Castle, a 1 year Yarakwan cry, I was south to London, into a Peckham, or Mitcham, or Streatham, or Oaken Road, New Cross, or Brixton, Oval, Stockwell, Mepacho, London Bridge, Mantamo, baby, I will be an obra, sorry. Obi free Holland, I be hotel, a bar, sorry. Now what to London? Because why? Only mudia radina prophetic Greg Adomoso, I dear mano. And I would have so dear, or ye be testimonies, a dance dear, I would have ye be to talk. And no more yanity bremono, o gusua or you, o gusua sabrino, or ye, unyaye, a fain warrior na kessie. And to walk on crackana cushion man and branebeje. Yes, and grab passport to say, Chekundunguni, me baby didn't dear kutumu, a need 2 weeks, a need 2 weeks, first passport, premark. A need 2 weeks and gratano abba. And gratano abba. Abra ye submit application and I'm a references no way. Jennifer Bejina so bompaye. J nefa bejina so. Nefa bompaye. Na yen share flames of faith in yame. Yen shed your bay. Yen shed your bay. Yen shed your bay. Into kwasi adebia. Me patobra sorry betro din. For train, for bus, every elephant and castle. Who drew elephant and castle abusa will be was a memory two. In 3 me and me two. Me and me two memory base, memory kituano. Yes, me and me two. When they be jack and a me and me two flew. Yes, me too. And you said to my shed and I mean, me and me two. Ain't for bus, for train, every elephant and castle. For elephant and castle. Who drew elephant and castle? Busakra kitty. So Keddington underground. Keddington underground. The landmark and our so dear Keddington underground. Underground and you move that. Ain't underground. Buses are would be free elephant and castle about your 133-333-155-412-196. Ubetimi and auntie just a short distance, walking distance, about 10 minutes walk. So what for bus are a 2-stop? And just 2 minutes per 2-stop. What be Drew Keddington underground? Me pacho be a bus ni bisu and a train be you a piano. When him obehu off license, cost cutter, off license and a cost cutter. Ewo walk kraka. Fenimu. Fenimwa will mediate 10 left. 10 left. What 10 left? I'm about to talk a praying ground. Park in a woho. Me patch off a park in him. Ubra park in him. I don't say a sorry hole receive park in a swa. A si park in a swan to no man buy ya or more one. Meet me dear bro some ba. It is a say some buy you socialize it. You are. There be a bear sorry be a you be a servo. Refreshment ho wo socialize enti park ne so na no ye wie na no service table ne koso service bibia e koso park ne so enti betimi edi nkomo o ma betimi edi agro table tennis wo ho seesaw wo ho gym wo ho park ne so na no activities bebre e koso e wo ho asori we wo mpe na wo pede he baby a wo ba you full at home you full at peace. Every Sunday, a one. And 2% will be srying. Upon our sorry to Tubrika, never shed your bradinam na qua prophetic Gregoso. Every Tuesday be a redemption hour. A what chiemre, a fa woodiemre, a yunkunimudiemre, Bejoa warrior, Bejoon crata, Bejoa juma, Bejoa yarisa. Bejoa war, a dear biara will body for the Nensa to so. Redemption our dear woba, a yam pie boogie diggy, a cromiha, London ha. So woo pe bebia, ye bomb pie dear pie no ma pie galia pie, a toffra pie to say granadia, a ye flames of faith assemblies, woba who say yes, ma bomb pie, yama maybe. Was so better be an enkra abane dem physical we nya grow physical cat or dane dem na okra aba ho okra abaho every midnight bia into intimina and now will be introduced hey elephant and custom pipe case be a air cost war and pipe be a air cost war na me obi na di me feel sorry e ko ye ko na sorry and any pan say omo pon sorry kwasi ada na di pan say me dey me go no say ah na say e pon sorry bia no di brika no say hwe flames of faith assemble in pipe case be air cost war and no say we here for no say elephant and castle and we yi Prophet Greg flyer no de chiri nipa no and also we dey minti elephant and castle and you so it straight am and also straight am here hwe and call for Fitilis Halifax Peterborough eba Tuesdays in Bible ukwa worship to beja deliverance things happens taking place and I'm minister Mate or send them on to me now for how many years in the encouraging film and I will buy it. I don't know buy it now. Your bomb pay dear pay no my pay prophet Greg and Fan and San Cano prophet and friend and Shannon home. I don't know buy it now no or die or Caribbean who are no ejinamwa came there and was say ah Diana Meswana the following week or buy and a prophet a pekeno and a prophet is starting or cra every day prophet is a me was and cra catty pussy cats a duachi na a be a jina will show this mani kamsa or kamusa na prophet adane no and I say I won't cry no hana or kem and a prophet is me who send credit with na one she ya busumi we yin ko na wiye ye betu chi a dambo my God who said there is no prophet who said there is no man of God eya ni nipa binom kasa rubbish because why ye was sebi asofo binom e do mo afore enuoma bi ni nsimu bi and the social media da woroma intimo bi akasa rough and the chere asofo because of sebi asofo bi mistakes bi o maye e bi a genuine mistake die enti amani pa binom kasa rubbish hwe ye wa asofo mo ne awurade wa pam o kasa wo soro ni adwuma ye osoro esum na osoro de ye adwuma maame no ebesine oda oya anwonani enti wo se enkra ne ye apam bi e woni fie enti ne nkra ne be ne fie no oya awe eba ne dem ne dem enye ne fie ne dem enye ne dia enne besine ebesine enti me pacho Tuesdays ebanada baby a wo bia eye numere nonso enti wo kwa adwuma kora wo pon atutumirika eno de wo bia enye church members bi eye ma wo mo obia frefre kobo oba fa prayer request bra Tuesday numere eye the same place number 1 Opal Street Pagless Acre Hall London XC11 4HZ eho Elephant and Castle wa Tuesdays in Bible e be free Milton Keynes Peterborough e be fifre chiri ni atoye ene atifini manche ena eba omo banso a osoro ekasa na osoro ema enumunyamhye eba enti me pacho obi a ebana da bia obetumi aba na ye nyina ye di apaya mapaya tafrabaye me da wase enchire nyame ya adomo a menye akwantu hu nsem ye di Easter wie nyame ya adoma for next week die eye gidi nsem ne doson eye gidi next week nyame ya adom na awurade boye ho ban na da so tinkwanu a next week echina de mi engagement Flames of Faith ye member ba ko ware awurade ahira no Prophet Greg in commission abem or catch them and say a month of March will not pass you by. That's last year December 31st. 31st no ena prophet peke ewuraba no Gina ena prophet ka kire ne say put yourself together. Put yourself together. Me want 2 rings. Na 2 rings na me hunu me hu oba ne be ma die. Na me hu ne say wo yes o ring no. You don't want ne bompa ye. So wo ma wani bre na wo bompa ya. A month of March 2025. And monyam shekesi bi beto so. Specifically a month of March will not pass you by. Who said there is no prophet? There is no prophet. A month of March and so and a new kunu de share yes because me ko your mwadi. And a prophet is a minya home. Program here, program here, program here. And a modeba April. And come shena ye juma. De wurade wotumi ye no. Enti e kire nyame ya atomwa ne mba. Akwanti mu ze. Jennifer, me ba ho chon what is say? Why you late? Enti me da se pa si yen kasa yimi free screen ni so. Yimi free so. JGM. Is that Jennifer? Me gidi say radi atom ohon eye wo bia ehon eye. Kid. Eradi nhira mu nyina me da no.
My Lords, in my limited time, I will today only speak to Clause 9 of the bill, the clause that seeks to strip British citizens of their citizenship without notice. I will focus on the real-life impact of this proposed legislation, the consequences for communities, and unpick the notion that citizenship is a privilege, not a right. Modern nationality law starts in 1981, and for all its shortcomings, it was an attempt to bring into the system, through formal paperwork, those that were British. Let me repeat, those that were by right British. The state was formalising a right that already existed, something expressly stated by the then Home Secretary William Whitelaw during the passage of the bill. However, what followed with subsequent changes to nationality law and an increasingly hostile approach by successive governments of all colours was the appalling circumstances in which the Windrush generation and others, people who by right were British, were treated like outsiders, foreigners and aliens. Our hostility to immigration and immigrants was the climate in which we abandoned our own, who were by right British, even if they hadn't formally exercised that right. I lay out this background because this notion of citizenship being a privilege seems to be a popular but sadly ignorant mantra. Of course, immigration is not a right, but immigration and immigration controls are very distinct to nationality rights, and those that mix them do so because their flawed understanding does not see beyond the colour of someone's skin. Let me personalise it. My family, as many of yours, was a century ago citizens of the UK and colonies. They had rights. All those in the Empire and the Commonwealth did. When my grandfathers fought for the British Indian Army as British subjects, they did so as citizens. When the Windrush generation answered the call for workers and came to this country, they did so as citizens. When South Asians took up gruelling jobs in the mills and foundries of Yorkshire, as my family did, they did so as citizens, as equal members of this country, a continuation of a bond that started decades earlier. It wasn't a conditional right or a temporary right or a right that we would try and take away from them and their children or their grandchildren in ever more cunningly creative ways, and it certainly wasn't a privilege. It was a right, one established through our colonial history, strife and blood and sweat, and even with those that gave life. By formally taking a British passport, they were merely formalising a right, not being bestowed a privilege. Sadly, the othering of our fellow citizens, which has happened over the years under Conservative governments, made worse, I would argue, by Labour governments with some of the most dramatically expanded powers of deprivation, and extended by the coalition government, this chipping away at this basic right of citizenship must now stop. And that starts with striking Clause 9 from this bill. We across this House, whichever party we belong to, have been part of the problem. Our respective parties have over time torn down that basic belief that all citizens in this country are and should be equal, and that as a citizen you are a permanent member, a fundamental recognised in case law, including in the High Court in D4, the case that has led to Clause 9. This problem, my Lords, did not start with Clause 9, but it must start to end with Clause 9. This government's sleight of hand, this last-minute addition to override the decision of Mr Justice Chamberlain, an attempt at another incremental change with the hope that once again no one will notice, but with huge real-life consequences, this power grab by the Home Secretary is deeply dangerous. One that seeks to deprive someone of their right to citizenship without even giving the person being deprived the right to know, depriving them even of the right to check whether the Secretary of State had the legal basis or accurate facts to exercise that power. My Lords, these proposals would mean that I would have greater protections when being deprived of my driving licence than of my nationality. And so a piece of legislation introduced but never used by the late Lady Thatcher's government during the Cold War to deal with treason has morphed, mainly during the Blair years, as an attempt to remove one man, Abu Hamza. And my noble friend Lord Moylan is absolutely right. Labour sowed the seeds of what we now reap, which is a catch-all law that covers around 40% of our ethnic minority communities. This clause is not a debate about immigration, it's a debate about our fellow citizens. These laws have the potential to include members of Parliament, their families, it includes our loved ones, our friends, our colleagues, it includes some of us. This is not scaremongering, this is fact. And this is why families across our country are campaigning to push back against the real-life consequences they are today experiencing as a result of years of incremental legislation. So in conclusion, my Lords, my parents' generation, now in their 80s, always feared that their future generations would be outsiders, second-class citizens, that they would be told to go back home, told to leave. My generation always dismissed these fears as unfounded. Windrush, my Lords, proved that these fears were not baseless. Clause 9 and the government's exponential use of deprivation powers compounds these fears. So I urge my noble friend, who is thoughtful and informed on these issues, to ask the government to think again and row back.